What is your price? Because if your price is not your life, then you are for sale. Well, we're here with Anthony Rubin, known as Muckraker. Muckraker has a very near and dear place for my heart. I consider myself a muckraker as well. I've also written a book called American Muckraker, but Anthony Rubin, who runs muckraker.com, an investigative reporter, investigative video journalist, often using hidden cameras, much like I have done previously at Project Veritas and currently at OMG and Citizen Journalism Foundation. Anthony runs muckraker.com, a media platform dedicated to exposing corruption, human trafficking, and the dark underbelly of America's immigration system. He's also recently traveled to Europe, and he's produced 2 or 3 videos that we're going to talk about today. One where Anthony Rubin actually journeyed from South America all the way up to North America and rode the train of death. This is prior to me even meeting him. He was also, him and his brother were kidnapped by the Gulf Cartel just between Texas and Mexico on the Rio Grande River. We're going to talk about that. Anthony Rubin also made a documentary where he exposed the plight of the unaccompanied migrant children and exposed the independent contractors through the federal government, places like MVM. You and I have done a lot of similar things, so we're going to get into that. Anthony is from Northport, Long Island, and now is a resident of Florida. We are both from the New York metropolitan area and recently moved to the state of Florida, the free state of Florida. We both love it here, right?
That's right.
And I view what Anthony does in the spirit of the late, I don't know if they're still around, but Vice, Shane Smith's Vice, circa 2010. Anthony Rubin actually goes there. He actually goes to the places he's reporting on. Very ballsy work. Almost has been killed. It's a miracle that both Anthony Rubin and myself are somehow still alive. And he represents the true shoe leather journalism, boots on the ground. So Anthony, thank you for joining me here today on the Price is My Life podcast. And I first want to start with this thing that you did that really inspired me, which was this video. Now, when was it that you made that video? You rode the train of death and you got on the top of the grain car.
That was in the winter of 2023. November of 2023 is when we did that.
November 23, and I think let's go ahead and throw that up on the screen. Just
we traveled
before
to
we play this,
Irapuato.
just set this up for us. I'm talking about the moment when you and Taylor were going on top of the grain car. What was that like? Just set it all up for us.
Oh, man. So I've rode the train of death. For anybody that doesn't know what that is, it's got a couple of names. It's La Bestia, the beast train in English, or the train of death. And it's this freight train, you've rode it, that the illegal immigrants take to get to the United States border. And it's got, there's various different entry points. You could even start it in Guatemala. We started it in Irapuato. That's the common entry point because there's an NGO there, Amigos del Tren, that everybody gets the train route maps from, and then they get on. But I've rode this thing 3 times, but the time I guess that we're going to watch right now is the first time we rode it, which
This
was...
is the first time.
That's right. That might be the sketchiest time. The second time I rode it was pretty sketchy as well. But so the first time we're going to ride this thing, the sketchy part wasn't even being on the train. I was happy when we got on the train. Because what happened was we were walking down the train tracks. You know how the whole setup is. You start at the NGO, Amigos del Tren, you walk about a mile down the train tracks, and you finally find the beast train. We're walking down the train tracks, and when I say we, it's myself, Taylor, at RGV Truth, and my brother Joshua Rubin. It's 3 of us. We're walking down the train tracks, and we start to see these men that are armed, clearly armed. And at first I thought these might be, I don't know, like security for the train or maybe Mexican police officers or something. And we realized real quick, I was like, oh my God, no, these are cartel. And I whispered to my brother and to Taylor, I was like, there's cartel men. And
What were they wearing?
So these guys looked like ninjas from the League of Shadows. If anybody's ever seen Batman, that's the best way to describe it.
Maybe you can pull up an image from the ninjas from the League of Shadows while he's talking.
The guys who trained Batman up in the mountains under Ra's al Ghul. This is literally what these guys look like. I wish I had footage of them.
machetes or something.
They had swords tucked in their back under their body armor. I didn't even realize why they had the swords. And when I was on Alex Jones, that's right, they had like machetes or something that they didn't, whatever it was.
And this wasn't captured by the camera because it was too low light, right?
Well, no, what happened was my brother was wearing a GoPro on his head. And as soon as I saw these guys, I said to my brother, I was like, listen, we got to blend in with this group. I was like, get in this group, keep your head down and take that GoPro off because we're going to get killed. So he took the GoPro off. I was not risking it. We'll get killed right now, straight up. I didn't even realize why they had the swords. And before we even get into that, like I said, I mean, these guys were literally wearing full body armor. Their face was covered like ninjas. Like you could only see their eyes. And they had swords tucked in the back and they were carrying assault rifles or shotguns. And so I didn't even realize why they had the swords. And I was talking to Alex Jones a couple months after this. And I was like, yeah, they had swords. And he's like, well, you know why they had swords? And I had no idea. And he was like, they have swords in case they want to kill you. They don't want to make any noise.
There's the image.
And I swear to God.
That's what they look like.
I swear to God. That's like the best possible visual that you could get of them without actually getting a picture of them. But anyway, so if they want to kill you, they don't want to make any noise. And so that's why they have the swords. So anyway.
I see. Well, they could have a silencer, right?
They could have a silencer too.
But the knife doesn't make a lot of noise.
I suppose not. Right?
So let's. I've infinite number of questions, but let's just play the clip of you. Go ahead, guys.
We traveled to Irapuato. It is here that the NGO Amigos del Tren distributes train route maps and aids illegal aliens in riding the train of death, also known as the Beast Train. At around 1 a.m., conductors intentionally stop the train about 1 mile from the NGO, and cartel members assist in the boarding process.
Okay, so we're sitting right now at the side of the train tracks. A couple more hours, we're going on the train.
This is you.
And I am coming down with something nasty. I've been feeling pretty sick for the last 24, 48 hours ish, and now it's just starting to hit me like...
You have like E. coli and salmonella?
I didn't even know at that time. I was just very sick. I was having diarrhea for like days, and it was bad. Like I couldn't even...
Something you ate in the journey?
Must have been. And if I had to go to the bathroom, like I couldn't even control myself. Like it was that bad.
Did you lose a lot of weight on this trip?
I believe I did. Yeah.
What did you eat?
Just whatever was on hand. I mean, Mexican food's all right. I think it's overhyped. I mean, American food is better. The Americanized version of it's better, but...
They make tablets or something you could have before... Well, I guess it's, it's more like if you're going to the jungles. Well, you were in the jungle.
We were in the jungle.
In what's the... Panama.
In Panama.
We'll get to that later. All right, keep going.
Yeah. Ton of bricks, but we're going to push through. All around us, we have illegal aliens who are going to get on the train with us. Hey, ¿qué país, amigo?
Guatemala.
Guatemala. See?
Guatemala.
Guatemala. Colombia.
What are you filming on?
See, there's more people showing up here. This was our GoPro. That was a GoPro.
Keep going.
Venezuela.
Anyway, that's the situation out here. So, another hour or two, we're on the train, and we're going north.
About to get on.
Hey, all these people.
Go. This is the first time I did it. We'll keep playing and talk over it. I mean, this is something that really inspired me playing. It was just like people screaming. Do you know what they're saying?
I don't know what they're saying. My Spanish isn't that good, but I will tell you, like I said, I was happy to get on the train because we were away from those men. Those men, I never really finished. So, you see these guys that look like they're from the League of Shadows, and what they were doing, I never saw them again. I rode this 2 more times after this. I never saw them again the time we rode it. I didn't see it the time after this. I never saw them again. But what they were doing that time is it was such a massive crowd, they were like doing crowd control. And so that not everybody stormed the train at once and they prevented a stampede, they would let one section of the group go and then another section. That's what they were doing. So anyway, when we got onto this train, when we finally made it, I was happy because I was like, okay, we're away from these guys. Now we're going to get on this train and start moving and go away from them. So it was a relief, to be honest with you. But then, this is what it looks like when you're hopping on this thing. And
I mean, it
is pandemonium.
Riveting.
Yeah.
And that's really inspired me to watch you do this. As a videographer, I don't think I've ever quite seen. Again, it reminds me of like the guys at Vice in North Korea, but even it wasn't as crazy as this. So you get on top of this is a grain car for the Beast Train?
I believe so, yes.
And this was different than the Beast Train that we rode. We'll get to that later. You get to the top of the train, and you had to like tie your shoes. You taped up your shoes or something like that?
Well, I think I did that when I was with you. For us, we just tucked our laces in. But yeah, I mean, obviously, if you trip, you're dead.
You could get killed.
Oh, easy.
Did you see anybody?
No, thank God.
Get hurt?
No.
Ours was more comfortable a train than this.
It was. This was horrible. I mean, it was the worst. You know, the sad thing is, not to make myself some sort of victim, but I was actually looking forward to it. I wanted to get like some really nice photogenic,
of what?
Some cool photo, like on top of the beast train. I mean, I'm never going to do that again. Most likely. Well, you never know, I guess. I mean, I never thought I'd do it the third
did
time.
It 3 times.
We did it, right? So, but it was so horrible. I was so sick, man.
Miserable.
And I couldn't even. Yeah, I could barely even move.
So you just pushed through.
We just pushed through. Yeah, you had to. For like after we got on that train, I was holding it together for the video and on the climb up, and then after that, I was barely holding on. I was really that sick, and we got off and I went straight to the hospital. And
what did they do at the hospital?
Just hit me with an IV. Antibacterial IV. Yeah. Antibiotic IV.
We're standing up to the powers that tried to discredit us, silence us, smear us, raid us, and throw us in jail. They've awakened a sleeping giant. We're building a movement of transparency and accountability in both the public and private sectors, because we run from nothing, we hide from nothing. And when you join and get your full access pass, you fuel a movement for truth. We are the media now.
And then I think we have a clip of, this is Anthony and I in the same town. I always get the pronunciations wrong. Irapuato. It's like Trump when he says, "We love Puerto Rico." He's mocking people who mock him for mispronouncing. So this is you and I. This is an image of you and I together. Now this is fast forward to Memorial Day weekend 2024, that would have been 6 to 7 months after you did this. So it's not too long after.
Yeah.
You're the one who came up with the idea for the bandana. What's behind the bandana?
It's like an Indiana Jones look or like a Rambo look. It's just...
We go get bandanas, and this is us talking to him. By the way, I thought this guy was a character. This Venezuelan guy. Let's see what he has to say. Play the clip. We're talking to this guy at the Amigos del train.
And they can help you with bus and plane tickets.
Nadie se va a bajar de arriba. Nadie.
Don't come down.
Nadie.
If the immigration stops us, stay on top.
Todo positivo.
Everyone
arriba.
stay on top.
Nadie se va a bajar al piso. Que se bajen.
Imitating the
Negativo.
immigrant pause. So I feel like he was saying, don't get off the train.
Yeah.
But a lot of people, when they got stopped by the immigration officials, they did get off, and those are the ones who were able to escape and get back on.
That's right.
Interesting.
That's right.
And then we have a clip of me running to the train with you. Let's play that. This is a longer clip.
Oh, is that it down there?
You saw the train, and we were running towards the train.
¿Qué pasó?
By the way, we brought the wrong GoPros, so these are not low-light GoPros. We used a little moment from your thing, but this is us. These are the wrong GoPros, GoPro 11s, folks. We forgot the 12s. And that's you. That's you jumping on right there.
And I was trying to get it. I was trying to get the film for you, but I couldn't climb it with one hand. I realized as I was trying to hop on.
Go back like 5 seconds, because I thought it was very interesting. You said you were trying to...
I was trying to get you that shot where like we climb on, but as I was getting onto the train, I was like, oh shit, I can't do this with one hand.
You have to get on the train, yeah. But you said something there as you're getting on the train. Go back and play that.
Oh, you gotta keep going, you gotta keep going.
Oh shit, I can't fucking do this, guys.
Pause. Oh, I can't do this. It's you were just saying I can't.
Oh, it's not that I couldn't do it. I was trying to do it, I guess one-handed, if I remember correctly. I was holding a GoPro.
But and you did get on the train, but I was worried.
Yeah. Oh, I was going to get on the train.
You were going to get on the train?
I was going to get on the train.
So, play it. Keep going. Come on, Anthony. This is Taylor climbing up. This is his GoPro. I was so worried you were not going to make it up there. Oh, there you are.
Thank God.
Okay, boom. Now it's me and Taylor. Cardio.
What is this?
Finding out what it is.
It's cold.
That's not coal, by
It
the
actually
way.
wasn't
It's
coal.
not coal.
It was iron.
I said that so confidently, like I knew what I was talking about.
It was iron pellets.
Barely did that.
I'm pretty disoriented right now.
Holy shit. That just happened? I guess it did.
Okay, cut. Yeah, so I was really scared that you were. I remember being on top of that train because you're the guy who's done this before, and I didn't want to do this without you. And I'm like, oh my God, he's not gonna. So you jumped on. How did you get up that train?
I don't even remember. It was just there was a ladder right there, and I don't know. I was trying to hold something in my hand. As soon as I ditched whatever I was holding and got both
You
my hands, I was
jumped
good.
on the thing that connects the two trains together, which is incredibly dangerous. Like you could, if you fall, you lose a leg.
Yeah,
Basically.
yeah.
I mean, the audience has like thousands of questions, and they all stem from fear and ballsiness and courage. And I will get to all that, but just what is your like 30-second explanation for why you do this?
30 seconds is hard, but let's just put it this way. I started doing this because I love the country. Genuinely. I mean, that might sound corny or whatever. I mean, some people might not believe it, but there was no financial gain. There's still not really any financial gain in this. I mean, I can make a lot more money doing what I did originally, which is just software development. I can make, if I just focus
You were
on
a
that.
software development.
Yeah, and I still do it. I still run a software developing agency. So I still do that. But if I just went full head on to that, this is only it's like a loss leader. You know, I do it because I love it. And I started it because I love the United States. And originally it was, you know, with the intent of just fighting socialism and communism and collectivism. And
Socialism and communism. That's what inspired
that's
you.
originally why I did it. It was during COVID, and I was like, it's a collectivist takeover.
Before COVID, did you have these
I did,
ideas?
but it was it crystallized during COVID with like the actual physical form that it would take as far as going and making videos and putting them out there. That's when it really was like, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to get this off the ground. It took a little bit. But that's why I started it. And, you know, the illegal immigration crisis it's really an offshoot of that, because the mass demographic change that's been allowed to take place over the last 4 years under the Biden administration, that is, of course, to change the voter base, and, you know, and many other things. But ultimately, if you allow that to go on long enough, you will end up with a collectivist society. You know, the exact form that actually crystallizes in.
Collectivism.
Well, collectivism is just an umbrella term. I mean, under that, you could have communism, socialism, many other types of isms.
So this inspired you, especially during the pandemic, you were inspired to do something about it. Now, a lot of people are pissed off at perhaps collectivism or socialism, but not everyone does what you do.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's just the people write articles, they vote, they volunteer at the polls, and you jump on moving freight trains, the train of death amongst masked ninjas with machetes.
Well, I can answer that. You know, I have a lot of respect for pundits that are well read and well educated, that could actually take information and synthesize it very well and give a solid analysis and prediction for the future. I respect that. But and you know, in the future, when I get older, I would definitely like to do that, which is why, you know, in my free time I study a lot. I read a lot of history, read a lot about geopolitics and stuff like that. But for me, it's very important to be the guy that's actually done these things. Otherwise, I feel like a talking head. That's just the way I am. I don't know. Something about just being a dude that did nothing but sit behind a microphone and a camera and with no
that's
actual...
what a lot of people do that. And they're very successful at it. And they're very good at it.
That's right.
But they don't get criticized for... and by the way, I may agree with you, but I'm just going to kind of try to play the devil's advocate where I can, even though I may agree with you. They don't get criticized for not having done the things in the field.
Right.
They're taken very seriously as a commentator,
right,
or as an opinion leader. But you're doing this stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, I just think it's important. I can't speak for anybody else. And like I said, there's a lot of pundits that I respect. But for me, I would feel like kind of a phony if I didn't actually have the on the ground experience. Because now I can refer, especially give me another 10 years or so after I've been around. I mean, we just got back from a Africa Europe trip, so now I have that feather under my cap. And, you know, I go do this for many more years, and I'm going to have a point where I have this mass repository of on-the-ground experience that cannot be denied. And then I feel like if I take that into punditry, well, now what are you going to say? Because it's not just behind the desk. I've actually done it.
You walked by these masked ninja-looking cartel people,
yeah,
assuming they were cartel, and you said to your brother, we got to hide this camera or not be seen, because you said they might kill us.
Mm-hmm.
how many more years or how many more times do you want to do these sorts of things?
That's a good question. I don't really have a good answer for that, to be honest with you. Certainly, I think by the time I have a family,
And when do you want to do that?
I don't know. I don't have a. Let's put it this way: I don't have any immediate plans, so it's going to be at least a few more years. I'll tell you that right now.
I mean, it's interesting, and the reason why I was asking this line of questioning was, as a matter of probability, what you do is dangerous.
It definitely is,
and it's a risk.
Definitely is.
And I get asked this question all the time,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know how to answer it. That's why I'm asking you. Do you think about the danger? Do you think about the risk?
I do think about the risk. I don't think you can't dwell on it for too long. It's got to be a calculated risk, and if you're going to do it, you're going to do it, and if not, it is what it is. But it's definitely a calculated risk. That's all I could say. I mean, I'm definitely not haphazardly going into these situations like, la-di-da, let's just see what happens, like some moron. I mean, like, I well understand the dangers, but to me, it's worth it. And I go, okay, risk reward. I think the reward outweighs it. Let's do it.
Yeah, I think being with you, I noticed when we were in the van, for the audience watching, we made this film Line in the Sand, and there's not more scenes that we're not going to play for you, but you can watch the movie. And we eventually got detained by the Mexican National Guard, or one of these Mexican army people.
Yeah.
And I noticed that you breathed a sigh of relief, like it's all going to be okay, when you realized that the people who detained us are just like the immigration officials. You kind of suspected that they were not bad.
Yeah.
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 But it could have been the other way around.
Could have been the other way around. Very
And
easily.
I don't know what the probability is, 1 in 3,
Yeah.
50-50. I don't.
Right.
What is the probability that they were bad guys that were going to ransom us or do something to us?
I couldn't tell you the probabilities. I don't know, but that's a real thing. That's a very real thing. The second time we rode that train of death, we rode in a different car. We rode on the inside.
That's the first time. That's the only time in human history you'll hear someone say, "The second time we rode the train of death." Continue.
Yeah.
That's that's the Shakespearean saw about if monkeys typed random words on a typewriter, it would take them, eventually they would type that. Continue.
So what my brother and I, we did, you started this off by talking about how we did this whole route trip where we followed the route of the illegal aliens from South America to the U.S. border. So we did that, rode that train of death. You guys saw the clip. Get to the U.S. border. We get kidnapped by the Gulf Cartel. They take a bunch of our footage that we hadn't backed up yet. I'll never make that mistake again. But we hadn't backed it up. Ironically, we still had the GoPro footage because that's the one piece of electronic equipment they didn't find, because it was in this little, the side pouch on a hiking backpack, and they didn't look in there for some reason. They just didn't think to look in there. So we had our GoPro, which had some of our best footage, but the rest got destroyed. So I said, okay, we got to go back, and we got to do this again. So we went back, rode this thing a second time. That's why if people watch the documentary, they'll see there's a cut in my documentary. We're on the top, and then we're on the inside.
How long is the documentary?
How long? It's about
40 minutes?
45 minutes, something like that.
We actually have a couple parts of the documentary, and I'm going to get into this cartel, but let's play, guys, let's play the clip of Anthony from this documentary where he described you going from South America. Where'd you
to the
start?
U.S. border. Ecuador.
And you went all the way to Texas?
That's right.
And you lost most of the footage, some of the footage.
No, not most, just at the tail end. Basically
Okay.
from the train of death up.
So this is you in this documentary, guys. Let's pull it up.
We're inside the Darien Gap. It's day 2. We're about 6 or 7 hours in on the day.
Were you
Right now
sick
it's
yet?
pouring
Or
rain.
no?
No, it's good here.
We've been filming, and the guides here, the Embera Indian guides, do not like that I have my camera out. We're getting some really unfriendly looks from them. We just started getting them now. They've been a little bit suspicious of us all day, but now they saw me take out my camera, and I don't think they like it very much. So we're just gonna have to hope for the best. They were telling me that, hey, you.
Okay, so there's this constant theme of them worried about the presence of cameras.
Yeah.
They just got suspicious, and what did they think you were, Americans?
Well, they knew we were Americans. Well, the thing is, during this trip, I would selectively lie. Like, sometimes I would tell the truth if I thought that getting caught in a lie would be worse than just telling the truth, For example, we got smuggled in from Guatemala into Mexico by some cartel organization. I couldn't tell you who it was. I lied there. We said we were Russians.
Russians?
Yeah, I just made it up. I was like, yeah, we're Russians.
Did you speak
No,
an
no.
accent?
I just kind of acted mute, and we bummed a couple cigarettes off people to act like Russians. I don't know, they smoke, right? It seems like a stereotype. So but anyway, here I told them that we were Americans, and I said we want to go through the Darien Gap. We just said that we were YouTubers. The route that we took, there's many different routes. The route that we took is the one that's used by special interests aliens, people that have money, like the Chinese, and who else was?
What was the route that you took into the Darien Gap? What was it called?
It's called the Coreto route.
And how many days does it take?
It takes 2 days.
And the more dangerous 5-day one, there was one YouTuber who did that. I forgot his name.
Oh, man, that guy's a madman. I'm actually very impressed that he did that.
5 days.
Yeah.
And that's the more dangerous route.
Yeah, and that's where all the poor people that have no money go through. The reason why the route that I took, it cost money, well, there's 2 reasons. Number one, it's shorter, so they charge money for it. And number 2, basically what happens is you get smuggled by boat into Panama first. Instead of going from basically the Darien Gap, that anybody that's not familiar that's watching this, it's the strip of land that connects North and South America, connects Colombia and Panama. And so it's this uninhabited jungle. There's many different routes to go through, but the route we took, basically you take a boat from Colombia, you get smuggled on a boat from Colombia into Panama, and then you just, it's a much shorter route. You bypassed a lot of it.
How much did you pay?
It was like $100. It wasn't that much.
Not that bad.
No, not that bad at all.
But $100 to some people is a lot.
They don't have 2 nickels stuck together. They got nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's play the clip of you in some type of caravan walking with these immigrants, Venezuelans, Cubans. This is you and your brother. I think we've got the clip.
So this morning we left Palomares, Mexico, and we're walking towards
That's your brother?
San
That's
Martin
my brother.
with a massive caravan behind us. There's about 2,000 people in this group.
Well, they definitely know you're American now.
Oh, yes. We have at least that much more time before we get to the destination.
¿Qué país eres tú?
Who's asking the question?
That's me.
Aquí viene de todo, cubano, venezolano, nicaragüense, hondureño, Guatemala.
Pause. What percentage of these people, from your view, being there, were trying to get a better life versus had some malicious intentions from this type of crowd?
You know, I would say most are trying to get a quote-unquote better life, you know? But I say that. It doesn't mean they have a claim for asylum. Mm-hmm. 2 totally different things. They don't. I would say that 90-something% of those people have no legitimate asylum claim. Probably 95 plus.
And there's some type of federal law that they apply for that. There's a policy. Are you familiar with how that system works?
With the asylum process?
Yes.
I don't claim to be an asylum law legal expert.
And a lot of these guys were claiming asylum?
Well, that's what they do. Yeah, of course.
For those who are not familiar with it.
Right. Well, they come over here. Well, the thing is, it was very interesting under the Biden administration because they actually had obviously there was a whole, mass influx of people coming across the border that, journalists like myself and many others could go film. And so to try to stop that, they actually created it was called the CBP-1 app, where they would just, okay, wait in Mexico for a little bit. We're going to green light you through this app, and then we're just going to take you over the port of entry and usher you in so you don't have to cross in through this weird hole in the border. And then this way journalists can't really film that. It doesn't look sketchy. But yeah, this is what they would do. But some would come in like that, others would come in illegally, just in these caravans. But yeah, of course, the goal is to come over here and eventually get asylum and get your papers and be able to stay here.
The markets are in chaos, and just coming off 4 years of economic insanity, stabilization is nowhere in sight. Many experts are predicting a recession before it gets better. That's why I recommend getting gold from the people I trust at Fisher Liberty Gold. Fisher Liberty Gold is a respected America First business. Click the link below and you can qualify to get $20,000 of free silver with a qualifying purchase. The markets are chaotic, but gold is always gold. Write this down, FisherOMG.com, or click the link below, FisherOMG.com.
So another movie you made, or documentary, and this is somewhat recently, this is last year?
That's right.
This is the Journey of the Unaccompanied Children.
Mm-hmm.
And you and I have done some very similar things. And in some cases, what you did this prior to me even doing it, where we even work with some of the same folks. MVM. Mm-hmm. First of all, tell people what MVM is.
Well, it's many things, actually. It's a former CIA contractor. They have worked with, the CIA. They've worked with the FBI. They have worked with, they've worked with other government agencies. I just don't want to be incorrect with what I say. Well, let's put it this way. They did research, I believe it was for the FBI's was called the High Value Detainee Program, something along those lines. I might have
like a terrorist thing.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
MVM.
MVM did this. Yep. And they have people. They provide staffers at Guantanamo. And I mean, I don't know exactly what they do in Guantanamo, but I mean, this is the kind of people you're talking about.
Contract.
It's a CIA contract.
Do you know anything about, or your reporting show you how they got the contract or the nature of why are they associated with?
Well, it's for I believe it's called the High Value Detainee Research Group.
So they knew someone in the government that got them a sweetheart contract.
Absolutely. Well, the founders of this were former Secret Service agents. At least one, I believe, one or two former Secret Service agents that founded this.
Is
thing.
it all about money?
It certainly seems so. But yeah, it was called the High Value Detainee Research Group. I remember it now. And yeah, that was about.
What was the source for that? Was that open source?
Oh yeah, this is
it's all open source.
Yeah. This is known by now. But what they ended up doing was they got a contract, and they're not the only one, but they were the main player. Well, I mean, it's like I got to almost take a step back. So what happened was you had all the situation where all these unaccompanied kids, and an unaccompanied child is, as you know, it's a child that comes over here with no parents, crosses the border, and they get nobody. They're under 18. And they cross the border. They have nobody here. But usually when they come over, they have like a note or something. And it's like, okay, but I'm going to this address. Here's the name of the person that lives there. Here's the relation of myself to them. And they present this. And then what Border Patrol does is they take them and they hand them off to Health and Human Services. Health and Human Services does this whole vetting process, and we can get into that. And then once they do this vetting process and they go, okay, well, the name on the note matches what you're saying, and we think that it actually is your parent or guardian, whatever it claims. What happens is you have MVM that actually then does the transportation. They go and get the kids from these holding facilities.
Right.
And they take them across the country and drop them off in the hands of the quote-unquote sponsor.
Let's play the clip from MVM. Well, this is the High Value Detainee Interrogation.
Yeah, that's what it is.
From the FBI website. Let's play the clip from you. Is this in the morning or evening?
This is at like 5 in the morning.
That a lot of these children don't know the sponsors that they are going to. What's going on?
Got the flag mic.
Yeah.
They're moving these kids. They just turn the lights off. This is the MVM headquarters that we are currently at. There are kids in this van right here that they are moving. There's somebody that's going to come out. Let's see what they have to say. Hey, are you a manager here? Hey, we've spoken to some of these children, and they tell us that they don't know a lot of times the sponsors that they're going to. Do you have any comment on that at all?
No, I don't.
This is MVM, correct?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure?
I'm not sure. I mean, I feel like I want to talk to you a lot about journalism ethics stuff, just because what we do is just so incredibly similar. You're wearing it's almost like the flag mic protects us.
You're right.
Because it's like sunlight to a vampire, or like sunlight to cockroaches. They scurry, they get scared. It's almost like it makes you less vulnerable. Mm-hmm. Do you feel that because it's kind of traditional? Like
right.
Most YouTubers don't have flag mics. They just wear a lav. I don't know what your thoughts are.
Well, I think you're right. The funny thing is with doing reporting, I'm sure you've had this happen to you a bunch. Some authority figure will come up and they'll be like, "Well, do you have you have like your journalism or press card or something?" I'm like, "This isn't a real thing. Like, you don't. There's not like some agency that gives you an official press card and now I'm part of the press. It's like you could be anybody."
Define journalist. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Well, are you an expert? Are you well, that's actually a strike against you.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So you have the flag mic.
So my point is, so given that there's not some sort of governing authoritative body that hands out these press cards that makes you an official member of the press, it's anybody. I think having, dressing it up appropriately and having the
Do you have
mic.
a press card? Can you make one?
Yeah, I can make one. I mean,
it might not be a bad idea at OMG we're experimenting with this, and I think it would be good. I think Luke Radowski, the guy, know that name?
Yes.
VR Change. He used to have a program 10 years ago where he would actually create a press badge. It doesn't have to be fancy, just a laminated badge, and you make them live up to their own book of rules. I sometimes wear it, but the flag mic, and that was a second cameraman.
That was your brother. That's right. Yeah.
That's your brother. I mean, is your heart beating? Do you get nervous? Do you?
It is, and then in the moment, you just go numb. It just is what it is.
Do you have any acting background, theater background?
I do actually. Well, a long time ago, I used to want to be an actor, and then I sort of realized how phony it was, and that I wanted no part of it. But when I was younger, when I was in grade school, I wanted to be an actor for a while, and I was Willy Wonka in the 5th grade play.
Willy Wonka.
And I went to this acting school for about a year. Like over on
didn't know
it would
that.
be on the weekends. Yep. And I would get on the train and go to New York City and go to auditions. And I forget what happened exactly, but at a certain point I was like, I think this is not for me. This is not anything I really want a part of.
But I'm going to ask you all the questions people ask me, because for me, it's like you get nervous right beforehand, but once you start doing it, you're in it.
That's right.
No matter how sick you are, your bronchitis doesn't matter. You have E. coli.
Yeah.
You're there. You're just flipping a switch, right?
Oh, you mean mentally? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, physically, psychologically, physiologically, you just will yourself to do that. Where does that? And I do believe it's rare what you have.
Mm-hmm.
Where does that come from?
Oh, I couldn't tell you, man.
Were you born with it?
I couldn't tell you. I mean, it just is what it is for me. I could tell you a story. I remember there was this one time, I think I was 5 years old. I played piano for a long time as a child, and I was really sick. All these stories, it sounds like I got like a health ailment. I'm a healthy person, but all these stories when I'm sick. So I was very sick. And I think I was like 5 years old, and I was going to a piano recital, and like right just before I like vomited all over myself. And my mom's like, you don't have to do the piano recital. I was like, no, I have to do the piano recital. We're doing this. And I was very young. I feel like most kids probably would have bailed and been like, I don't want to do this. I was like, no, I got to do this. And we worked hard for it. Let's just do it. It's in and out, and then we could say it's done. I think that, and so the point is, it's not. I think I've been like that from the day I was born. I just think it's, if you're gonna do something, if you really want to do something, you'll find a way. What's the quote? I forget. If you want to find a way to do it, you'll make it happen.
Invention? No.
Yeah, well, like if you want to find an excuse, you'll make an excuse, right? Mm-hmm. There's excuses everywhere. I could pull an excuse out of thin air to not do anything.
Yeah, I mean, is it something? The question I always ask my guests: is it something like your father taught you? Is it something that you were born with, your DNA, or is it your environment in Long Island? Is it your brother and you growing up? No. I just find it interesting. What causes someone to be this way?
All I could say is, honestly speaking, and if I want to get something done, I get it done. That's
you
all
just
I could say.
do what you say you're going to do.
That's it. Bottom line.
It requires a bit of willpower when I was in college and I was doing the Lucky Charms prank, when I was 18 or 19, I was nervous. My heart was beating so fast, and I just forced myself to do the uncomfortable thing.
Yeah.
I forced myself.
Yeah.
And also the other thing, the question is, well, how do you not laugh when you're saying, Lucky Charms are racist? And I say, it's like a mindset, because ordinarily you would. We'd be sitting here, we could not keep a straight face if we were just hanging out in the studio. But when you're in the field and your life is on the line or the story's on the line, you just don't laugh, right?
Right.
Do you find that to be true?
Absolutely. And to, as far as the question you just asked before that, I think the reason is maybe at its core, the way that I would feel if I was to take the easy way out and not do it would be worse than just doing the thing, because I would have to live with that regret. It's like the pain of discipline or the pain of regret.
Ernest Hemingway has this quote, which is in American Muckraker. I put the word American in front of Muckraker. Ernest Hemingway says, what is moral is what you feel good after, and what is immoral is what you feel bad after. Ernest Hemingway had a way with words. But a journalism guy wrote, morally defensible journalism is rarely what you feel good about afterward. It is only that which makes you feel better than you would otherwise. So you doing the thing is better than it's better than if you hadn't done the thing.
Right.
You couldn't live with yourself. That may be too exaggerated, but you couldn't live with yourself having not done anything about the problems.
Yeah, it's the same with anything in life. I mean, it's the same with any difficult thing. I mean, who the heck wants to get up in the morning and go kill themselves at the gym or things like that? Mm-hmm. But you're gonna feel like a bum if you don't do it.
But everyone does seem scared, fear.
Right.
Do you see that in society? I see it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And people watching what you've done, I mean, the reaction, they think that we're crazy or you're crazy or you could have gotten killed. Everyone's so scared.
Yeah.
And I don't fully understand it, but as a journalist and as a muckraker, how do you respond to those people who look at you with a sense of admiration and wonder and think that you're crazy?
Yeah, well, you know what I like even more than that is people who doubt and people who think it's ridiculous and not worth it. Like I've had people, say that I'm going to get killed or that I'm crazy. What are you doing? And they think it's not going to work. I mean, from day one, I had close friends of mine that were they're like, what are you doing? You're going to throw your life away. You're just going to get blacklisted. And
what do you mean by blacklisted?
This is more like, in 2020, 2021, when, I mean, you could get canceled or kicked off of everything very easily.
It's gotten a little better.
It's gotten a little better, for sure. But, speaking to certain people, like, what are you doing with your life? What is this? And honestly, proving those people wrong.
I see.
Is probably the best feeling.
It's kind of like a Michael Jordan, like, what's that Netflix documentary? Have you seen that? I probably don't watch that.
No.
I forgot the name of the Netflix, but he when someone would slight him, it would almost use it as a motivation.
Yeah.
Not the same exact thing you're saying, but proving people wrong.
Yeah.
As a motivator for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's a healthy competitive thing. I mean, it's the fear is a problem. I think in society, just the general fear is like a disease. Everyone's afraid of losing something they have. They're scared.
Yeah.
But you could get hit walking across the street. You get struck by lightning. You could get cancer. You could have something happen to you. So, I get what you do, and I understand it.
Well, you know what it is? It's being okay with the status quo. I mean, if you were somebody that was okay with the way things were, you probably wouldn't do this. And I mean, you and I are both not okay with certain things. For me, the whole legal immigration situation into Europe and the United States, like I said, we could talk about what we just did in Europe. It was pretty incredible.
We're going to.
We could get into that, but I only mention that to say that's something I feel very, very strongly about. I mean, it is true. It's the erosion of Western civilization, and so I'm not okay with that. I'm not okay with that status quo. There's no real financial incentive. It's the incentive to try to pump the brakes on that and to stop it.
It's a position that you take on. I mean, for me, it was less so motivated by what you're motivated, but I respect it and I understand it. For me, it was the lies. Like 10 years ago, we crossed the Rio Grande. I dressed like Osama bin Laden.
I remember that.
For me, it was like, I think it was Senator Harry Reid said the border is secure.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't care what your position is on immigration. If you are saying something opposite from what is reality,
right.
I thought that was wrong.
Right.
Whether you like illegal immigration or dislike it, they just lie to us.
Right.
And like, I think part of what's so incredible about the work that you've done is you've shown the humanity of what happens with these people. I don't think your expositions have any moral judgments in them. It's almost like you're just empirical. You're just showing people the reality of what is happening, and then they can kind of take the truth from that. But let's talk about what else do you want to go through? Let's go back to the unaccompanied children. I want to get to what you're doing in Europe. I want to get to the kidnapping by the cartel. But let's talk about MVM some more. Let's go to I actually stood outside MVM. I think we have a clip of me at MVM as well. And then you chasing the buses and being at the airport. I went to MVM. You're right. It's like 5 a.m. They leave in these white, strange-looking buses.
Yeah.
The FedEx for children. I might get in trouble. FedEx might sue.
A private contractor called MVM. Within the last 9 months, MVM has received over $129 million from the Department of Homeland Security, $719 million from DHS. Overall, there's the white buses right there. That's the FedEx transportation hub for the unaccompanied minor children.
We use the ICE database to input the information of the kids going from shelter to shelter, and we communicate with the TSs who actually make the trips.
What does TSs mean?
The transport specialists. They're the ones that actually go and pick up the kids and take them from shelter to shelter.
They stop the transportation of children, they stop the money.
Yeah, I did not expect to find that it's just money. It's all money. Did you know that going into your investigation?
Yeah, I mean, depends which, there's many people that are involved in these organizations, like MVM is one of them. You talking about the low-level stooges or the people way at the top?
I think just the
there's
whole
different
paradigm,
motivator.
the whole thing seems to revolve around money.
Pretty much. I think part of I shouldn't even say a small part of it. A large part of it is also out of necessity, and I always said this. It's like this crisis was artificially created. It could have been prevented. It never had to happen as far as all these kids coming across the border unaccompanied. And then they get here, and what exactly are we going to do once they're here? We're going to have like mass government orphanages? I mean, that would also be horrible. So it's, and I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm not defending this, but it's almost like part of it was certainly out of necessity. I mean, these kids, and a lot of the kids do end up going to their parents, and it's legitimate. Yeah. I'm not claiming that MVM drops off every single kid in the hands of a trafficker.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of times it is legitimate. So there is a necessity for it. But yeah, with a program like this, there obviously is going to be a lot of people that slip through the cracks and end up, using it to facilitate a trafficking operation, which is very real.
Well, Tara Rodas, who we both know, I think the way she put it was excellent. Tara Rodas is an HHS whistleblower that knows the both of us, and she said that when they get to the United States, they can't ask a lot of questions. They can't even look at this. They just need to get them in here.
Mm-hmm.
You can't move 500,000 children if you're putting a magnifying glass over any part of it.
Yep.
It's fascinating. And then Anthony, you followed the buses to the McAllen Airport?
McAllen Airport.
McAllen Airport. I think we have that clip. Following the bus.
What's going on here? There they go. And notice they got out of here in such a hurry that they just left their bags here.
They left their bags.
Think about that.
There?
They got out of here. We don't even know what's in those bags. They just left them there and they took off in the van.
Did they come back to get them?
Not that I saw.
They just left the bags to avoid you.
That's right.
Well, they had to come back to get the bags. They can't leave town without the bag.
I do not know. I never saw them come back and get those bags.
It's so fascinating to watch the way people operate when the sunlight is on.
Absolutely.
Have any local reporters in South Texas done this sort of thing with MVM?
I couldn't tell you. Not that I'm aware of.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I will say, I tracked. I tracked those buses to, from that facility in South Texas to McAllen Airport. But I spent 3 months last summer, even longer than that, literally following. Not only from there. I mean, there was a story I did from LaGuardia Airport where it was just myself. It was nobody else. It was winter of 2024. I would go to LaGuardia Airport. I got a hotel nearby. I'd show up at LaGuardia Airport every day, and I would just sit there. I would just wait. And every single day, one of the flights or multiple of the flights coming from Texas, I think it was the flight from Dallas, they'd show up, and sure enough, you'd see a group of these kids coming with an escort, and they'd get into some sketchy. There was a black van, and they'd drive them to different orphanages. And
orphanages.
That's right. And I would hop in a taxi. I'd be like, trail that van.
We know they go to sponsors, but you're talking about orphanages.
Yes.
That's interesting. Did you get inside the orphanage?
I actually did get inside one of them for a moment. I didn't really get anything useful out of it, but I shouldn't say orphan, like foster homes.
Foster homes. Because foster homes are they call them sponsors versus, because Tara Rodas said that people watching this, most of them may not know how this works. I think with foster homes, the people are vetted, and Rodas says that with sponsors, oftentimes they're not vetted.
Yeah.
These unaccompanied children, so they could get abused in the United States.
Well, they could get abused in foster homes too, and that's what we showed in this expose. People could go find it very easily. So I followed them to these different foster homes, government-funded foster homes, and then I looked, and these foster homes, I think 3 out of the 4 of them have a history of serious abuse, of like people getting raped and whatnot.
Is that in the same documentary?
Not in the one that you're playing clips of. If people go to
Muckraker.com,
look up in the search bar, just look up like foster homes.
All these are on your website.
All these are on the website, and you'll see it. And ask yourself, how is it that a foster home that's got serious allegations of sexual misconduct could still have these government contracts and be getting all these kids? But that's the situation, yeah.
Have there been any reforms to your knowledge based upon your work? Anyone been fired? Any congressional investigations? Any results?
Off the kid stuff, not that I'm aware of. To be honest with you, no, not off the kid stuff. Off other work, there has been some of our work's been displayed in Congress. Like if we talk about the flyer, that was, I think Marjorie Taylor Greene brought that up. We did some election integrity work that Elon Musk shared, and I believe that there was the. Who was it? Was it the AG? Well, the governor responded to it. The governor of Georgia at the time responded to our election integrity work. So we've had people respond to it, but as far as anything with the child stuff, absolutely not. Not that I'm aware of. No.
Why do you think that is? Is there some type of conspiracy or cover-up or involvement from people in this activity, or is it money? What is your hypotheses?
Well, I think that Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think it's incriminating on both sides. You know,
Democrats and Republicans.
Democrats and Republicans. This is on.
How is it incriminating to Republicans?
Well, they're overseeing this, right? Mm-hmm. And so this has been going on for so long. By the way, this isn't something that just happened under Biden. It was just like manifestly horrible under Biden, and it got just like to ridiculous proportions. But MVM's been operating with these same contracts under Trump, the first administration, I believe even before that. So it's a damning thing, and it's like, do you really want to shine a light on this truly and show how long this has been going on for? That's one way to look at it. There's many different ways to look at it.
I don't want to change the subject because I want to get to you going to the McAllen airport, talking to Border Patrol agents, but while we're on the subject of bipartisan strangers, I just want to get your 2 cents on the whole Epstein fiasco right now. If you don't have an opinion, I respect that. If you know, because I just got back from Turning Point in Tampa, and I've never seen the so-called conservative movement just seems to be going at each other's throats.
Well,
I've never seen this.
Here's my question, right? And I don't know. There's people like Cat Turd, which I don't even know the guy's real name, but he's a big. I mean, apparently he's got some sort of sway amongst the whole, MAGA Republican crowd, and others like him. Yeah, here's what I don't get. Everybody, or a lot of people, not everybody, but a lot of people, they go, oh, it's Pam Bondi. Oh my God, how is Pam Bondi doing this? They have to get rid of her. And I'm thinking in my head, Pam Bondi serves at the pleasure of the President of the United States. Donald Trump can remove her right now, as he could make a call right now and have her removed.
He stood behind her the other day.
Puts out this massive Truth Social tweet, backs her up, says she's doing a great job. So it's like cognitive dissonance. I don't understand these people who are they're like, we need to investigate Bondi. We need to get rid of Bondi. It's all Bondi. Is this a joke? I don't know.
Yeah, they might want a pound of flesh. They want someone to be held. But yeah,
the responsibility rests with Trump, as far as I'm concerned. He's the commander-in-chief.
He's the leader.
Bondi is his direct subordinate.
But Bongino is threatening to resign and perhaps cash. And I guess Trump has to be a reconciler if that's his position. If he's going to stand behind his attorney general.
But ultimately, as far as I'm concerned, unless there's something I'm just totally missing here, maybe I'm just a stooge, but it rests with him as far as I'm concerned. If he wanted a different outcome, or if he wasn't happy with this outcome, have her removed. She hasn't been removed.
So that tells me that someone put the list on her desk, but the source said that she did not look at it, or maybe that's what she said. I don't know whether that's true.
Right.
So-called list.
Well, apparently there is no list, though.
What do you think?
Well, I mean, people have said, well, the list it's not like, it's the same with the Black Book, right? Well, it's not really a book. That's more of a metaphor. But I mean, there are certainly clientele. We know that there's flight logs. Why not just release the whole flight log?
Or the other, what Charlie Kirk said is in the prison where Epstein died, at least the names of the other prisoners.
That's right.
Or the affidavit, the probable cause, release the unredacted.
That's right.
Why can't they do that?
It's a massive cover up. That's what that is.
That's why I want to ask you about, because you're a journalist. You go out there and. It's a cover-up.
That's right. And people aren't standing for it. And that's the thing we also noticed when we did these child videos. It's like people will stand for a lot, but I think when it comes to like sex trafficking and children, it's like there's a red line there, red and blue, like Democrat and Republican. It crosses party lines. People are just outraged.
There's a consensus there. There's a unifying. But it struck me. I've been in political journalism most of my life, and the MAGA thing. I mean, I was in the audience and I went on stage and I said, by show of hands, did you see the thing the DOJ put out like last Wednesday? It was like the 2-page official. There is no. You saw that.
Yeah.
And there was a paragraph in that DOJ letter that said, "We have found no evidence of any third-party illegal activity." I mean, come on.
So why did he kill himself?
I mean, it's like, of course, someone in his network did something illegal,
right?
A misdemeanor, That struck me. Every single hand in the auditorium of 7,000 people, everyone raised their hand when they said that they were lying. That I've never seen that type of reaction.
Well, I don't want to rehash Epstein here because everybody already knows the questions. But it's like, how did a math teacher end up with tens of millions of dollars? Yeah. How does that end up happening? Nobody knows. So you're saying there's nothing there? That's it. Case closed. Are you joking? And it's all Pam Bondi too. Look no further.
Yeah. Yeah, Laura Logan put out a tweet the other day, and she didn't defend Pam Bondi, but she said everyone's attacking Pam Bondi. And by the way, we did an investigation. I don't know if you saw the video we did on Pam Bondi, and it was a tough story for me to publish because, you're an independent guy and you're doing this sort of muckraking journalism, and I gotten to know you, and my view is that you will publish a story even if it, goes after a Republican or someone in the Trump administration, right? It's tough. You have to decide, are you an activist or are you a journalist, right? That's sometimes it's a tough thing to do.
Right. Well, I see what you're saying. I mean, you will fall out of favor real quick, especially with a guy like Donald Trump. I mean, he holds grudges, right?
Yeah, but the entire MAGA movement right now is an uprising against.
Yeah.
It appears to be an uprising against Pam Bondi. So, I mean, even Laura Loomer, who's extremely close to Donald Trump, is daily calling for Pam Bondi to resign, and they're close. So I'm just saying I've never seen. I'm bringing it up because I think it's a shit show, and we're in a unique inflection point in American politics, and I just wanted your.
Well, I mean, let me ask you. I mean, does it make sense to you to put the blame on Pam Bondi and not squarely with Donald Trump? Honest question. Because to me, the blame rests with Donald Trump. If he's not happy, then have her removed.
Well, he's the commander-in-chief, and he's the leader, and he's ultimately responsible. And it's like, perhaps he needs to get into a room with Bongino and Cash and Bondi and figure it out. Because I don't... Listen, my perspective is I was raided by the FBI, and... I don't know if we have, guys, the affidavit. I'm going to bring this up every week. I'm going to show this to every guest. That the probable cause for the Epstein thing, if I was the president, I would unredact. I'm not saying publish child porn. Like, I don't know if you see child. I just want to know all the basis for the raid, for the arrest in 2008, et cetera. I want to see all the probable cause. I think they could waive they have the power to do that. The president of the United States could say, I want that unredacted. So unredact it.
Right.
And don't go after any victims. That's what I would do if I were the president. And I'm biased on this because I was raided by the FBI. And do we have that, Andrew? We pull that up? No? All right, we can put it in post. But the audience knows. I mean, they redacted every word, Anthony. Every single word. Did you see that? Of my
of your situation, yeah, absolutely, yeah,
every word,
yeah,
and I'm just a citizen journalist, so they can't be transparent. They closed the case. There's no crimes. So if there's no crimes, and they raided me at gunpoint, and they can't show you the basis for why they did that, what makes us think that they're going to be transparent with Epstein?
Well, I think you could look at it this way as well. If it was another person who was guilty. I guess he's not guilty of what we thought he was guilty of, right? There's nothing more to investigate. But let's say he was a Russian or an Iranian or a Chinese person. I don't think any of this would be under lock and key. The only explanation is that there's very high-level people that are being protected here, obviously. That's the only explanation as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Because it would implicate a lot more people. Now, imagine the only people that would be implicated were a bunch of Chi-Com agents. You think that they would have any reason to withhold it? No, they would put it right out there. There's very high-level people.
Statements about Israel, and I think there's been a paradigm shift in the conservative movement about this because you could not talk about this previously, and I view that's going to be an issue. For we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
What, the Israel situation?
The talk about, Tucker went on stage and said that he's a Mossad agent,
right?
And I don't know if one could say that a few years ago, and I don't think that you could say that 4 or 5 years ago.
Well, the Overton window is shifting for sure.
Correct. On that issue, I think.
Absolutely. And rightfully so.
Yeah.
Why can't you ask these questions? I mean, it is a little bit strange, isn't it? I mean, call it a serious coincidence that the day after that memo was released about Epstein, where it's like, case closed, don't look at the man behind the curtain, then Netanyahu comes for his third meeting with President Trump this year. It's just a strange coincidence.
Let's go to page 42, guys. 43 of this document, semi-related to what we're talking about. I'm going to do a weekly reminder to all of you. I'm surprised they haven't. Has the FBI, has anyone done this to you? Has any law enforcement been snooping around, to your knowledge?
Not that I know of.
Okay, this is it, guys. So there you have it, Anthony. It's probable cause justifying search of O'Keefe's premise.
That's incredible.
Can you believe this shit? Next page, please. This is a PDF affidavit, page 46. And then you have look at that. See, you see right behind you? They even redacted the little footnote above 48. See? This is a clown show. They redacted the number 7, and they didn't redact it on the bottom, number 18. So they didn't redact 18 on the bottom, but they redacted 18 on the middle of the page. And then the next page. In sum, based upon the foregoing, there's probable cause. This is just preposterous.
Dan Bongino seems relatively accessible. He's not somebody that you could...
The problem is that, I mean, I probably should text him. The problem is these guys could ask for 10,000 favors a day. And I'm a nobody. And
I mean, you're one of the most... You got to be one of the biggest independent journalists in the country.
Well, I appreciate that compliment very much, but even if what you're saying is true, it even indicts the system even more. Because in your words, if one of the most important journalists in the country can't get a response from the Department of Justice, then we're really screwed, aren't we? And if the administration of justice depends upon my ability to text the director of the FBI
yeah, it's not good.
and ask them for a favor
Right.
to administrate justice, the United States of America is in a really bad place.
Right.
And I almost reject the premise that I should be asking for a favor. Shouldn't they just do the right thing? Perhaps lost in all of this is any semblance of right and wrong. As specified in Attachment A, law enforcement agents will execute the requested warrant for cell phones in O'Keefe's possessions only if and when O'Keefe returns to SDNY. So these guys surveilled me, Anthony. I was in the Catskills on a retreat with Project Veritas, and then they usually don't execute search warrants on Saturday in New York State. I didn't get back till Friday night. So 6 a.m. on Saturday, they came in my apartment. Maybe they will do the right thing.
Did you have any reason to believe that they were coming? Did you have a sneaking suspicion? Were you sort of waiting for a knock on your door?
You know what? That's a really good question. I had a gut level suspicion in the weeks prior. I had a metaphysical, spiritual sensation that I was messing with power. And I remember being on my sailboat, and I remember swimming in the Long Island Sound, right off the coast of near where you're from, because Westchester County is kind of across from where you're from, sort of. And I was swimming on an early October day. It was a very warm day. And I remember thinking, at some point these federal deep state people are going to come for me. I remember feeling that and thinking that a month before this happened. I remember sensing that. And then 2 days before my raid, they raided my 2 colleagues. And then I didn't think they were coming for me, but when I heard the pounding, I was like, that's them. So,
well, I want to ask you a question. Well, it's like me interviewing you, but
yeah,
I actually always did want to know.
Please do.
So you actually had the diary, and at the time you couldn't, if I understand correctly, you didn't know if it was real or fake, but I assume you thought it was real.
Yeah, it's like 98 or 99% certain that it's real, but not 100%.
Not 100%. And then, okay, cool. So you ultimately didn't run the story.
Correct.
You didn't run it, but I'm assuming you read through the diary.
Yes.
So you're one of the few people that actually knows what's in there.
Someone else published it.
Oh, it's already been published?
Yeah, this group called National File. It was leaked from within Project Veritas to a third party who then published it. Because within Project Veritas, we were divided equally. And I mean, there was a fierce ethics discussion about whether we should do this. In fact, my former chief compliance officer, Russ Verney, worked for the Ross Perot campaign. He's in his 70s. And Ross Perot, who ran against George H.W. Bush in 1992, they went after her daughter. And, should we really go after the children of... this is a tough one. I mean, depends upon what the children did.
Mm-hmm.
And the Biden children are obviously troubled.
Right.
And in some cases, drug addicted. So he took a very strong position, and I respect him, and I respect where he's coming from. And some in the company were like, "We need to elect Trump." It's like, well, that's not what my compass is. I voted for Trump. I support most of what he's doing, and he likes what I do. But that wasn't my compass on whether I should publish the story.
Yeah.
And then there was a third line of reasoning, which was where I was coming from on it was, she said in the diary stuff about showers with her dad. And
that's right.
I don't know whether that happened. She's in a drug rehab. Is she writing poetry? Is it real? And there's also the issue of, is this a forgery? Right. So I was never able to fully ascertain, A, whether it's real, and B, whether it happened. Made the decision not to run it.
And they knocked on your door and took it?
No. What happened, that was a year later. This is we reached out to Joe Biden's campaign for comment. because even though I wasn't going to run it, as an investigative reporter, you're always kind of in the behind the scenes trying to confirm things. Guys, we're not running it, but we'll reach out to them for comment. Maybe they'll talk to us. They forwarded my request for comment to the FBI.
Holy shit.
And I know that because they accidentally CC'd us on the email to the Southern District of New York.
And that would have been the Biden campaign at the time, or the Biden administration.
It was a woman named Roberta Kaplan, who is lawyer, spokesperson for Biden. They had taken this email that I forwarded them, the campaign. And Roberta Kaplan's on the email. And Roberta Kaplan, I believe also a lawyer for Andrew Cuomo, the governor of New York. It's a little cesspool situation there. Somehow related to the U.S. attorney, too. Roberta Kaplan forwarded my email to the FBI.
Wow.
And CC'd me accidentally.
No.
Yes.
Oh, so that's why you had that.
I saw that.
Yeah.
And thought, oh, shit. We got that email forwarded, and then, unbeknownst to me, I didn't know this, they got secret warrants to go through my Google and my photos and my Uber.
Wow.
They're called 2703B subpoenas. They went to 8 different magistrate judges in New York federal court and got the judges to stamp warrants to spy on my newsroom.
And you found this out much later after the fact.
I found that out when I saw the search warrant when they entered my house.
Got it.
And on the warrant for these secret subpoenas, they were using a blackmail, an extortion premise, because they said by virtue of me reaching out to comment to the president, I'm blackmailing him. I'm saying, hey, would you do an interview with me? That is so crazy. If that's blackmail, every reporter at the Washington Post and the New York Times is committing blackmail.
Right.
And it kind of goes back to what you're talking about press badge, because they would never do that to NBC News. I'm just curious if they've ever, to your knowledge, have they ever spied on you, tried doing this to you?
No, not that I know.
Investigated you?
Not that I know of. No.
Are you afraid of going to jail for something you didn't do wrong?
Well, that would be unfortunate. I don't know. I've been met with life and death situations. It could get a lot worse than that, I think.
Have you ever gotten sued?
No. Never been sued.
Never been sued.
Never been sued.
Never had to pay lawyers?
I've had to pay lawyers, but not for any serious litigation.
Do you run this stuff by attorneys? Do compliance checks or?
I do, especially depending on. Well, not every time, but depending on what kind of story we're doing. Absolutely.
Yeah. You use as a leader, your own sense of things. You try to issue spot where you can.
Right. Sometimes you don't. If I'm just doing a man in the street interview, it's pretty cut and dry. But.
Well, let's go to the Border Patrol agents in the airport that you spoke to, because I think this is fascinating.
There was no ID check. Right. Why weren't there IDs checked? If I was going to go here...
I can't talk to you about that.
Why do you guys ID American citizens when those children came to you guys in ID number?
I'm not going to say anything on camera.
Are a lot of the kids coming over here, are they trafficked?
So he wasn't willing to talk to you on camera. Is this the same guy?
This is the same guy.
But he was willing to talk to you on hidden camera.
That's right. People, I was torn with publishing that, to be honest with you.
Why is that?
I don't want to. He seemed like a nice guy. How do you define nice? But he seemed like a nice guy.
Well, how do you define nice?
He seemed like a decent person. I guess that is also ambiguous and vague, isn't it? Let's put it this way. At least he was man enough to talk to me seemingly off record, right? So at least he wasn't that shut off, which I guess I appreciated. And, the thing about doing this kind of stuff is you're violating trust constantly. There's people that trust you, and it's a violation of that trust. That's what this is. Recording somebody covertly, right? So it's difficult. I don't like putting people out there if they didn't realize. But the thing is, so there was, and some people, if you watch the video, they commented like, "Why didn't you blur his face?" And I'm thinking in my head, he's an authority figure. I think he'll be fine. Maybe he won't be, but regardless, I got this from you. It's, does the public right to know Trump, whatever possible fallout might come to that man for publishing this? And in this case, I think certainly so. Absolutely. We could roll it, and you guys could tell me if you think.
Yeah, let's roll it. He says he's talking.
Does that happen a lot, that the kids come over here with a totally fake name?
It has.
Yeah?
There's no way for us to verify.
And so they come over here with a fake name, and then they just come up with one. They just get a brand new identity. They could be anybody.
Have you seen the movie?
Sound of Freedom?
Yeah, Sound of Freedom.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
Exactly like that shit happens.
You guys get the kids coming over here with the notes that are attached to them with the addresses, right? And a lot of times those addresses lead to like a sex trafficker or something, right? That's legit.
Yeah. There's a lot of shit that we can't tell.
What's the issue, though? Why can't you guys talk on camera?
It's the policies that we have, things that we can and can't say.
But why don't they want you talking on camera?
Politics.
Politics. What, like making the administration look bad? Or...
Yeah.
Damn. It's the Biden administration.
Honestly, though, I really wish there was more people like you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Exposing this shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because it sucks. It truly is a horrible thing.
Yeah.
It is a horrible thing.
I wish there were more people like you.
I can't do that.
You could blow the whistle on it.
No, I can't.
You could.
Well, you could.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he can do it. He's going to lose his job. I mean, wow.
So I was torn. I was torn about not about publishing it, but about whether or not to blur his face. But I ultimately decided not to. It's a decision. That was the decision. That's what we did.
You ultimately decided not to blur his face. Did you
Decided
reach
not
out to him for comment?
I did not.
No.
No.
I think that's something that you should do.
No.
I think in the beginning of my career I did not do that, but I think now I require it. But it's newsworthy. Even if he's not telling you the truth, he still said it. But I always feel like giving opportunity for people to comment.
I think you're right. And I think going forward, especially with our latest piece, I think that's when there's going to be, going to need comments from a lot of people.
It's a lot of work.
With this, for this upcoming one.
And it's a lot of work what you do. It's investigative reporting is people don't realize just how much work it takes.
So much.
And I'm not saying that to complain. I'm saying that because of the economics of it, which we will get to. There's so much to talk to you about, Anthony. But speaking of the journalism ethics, let's go back to what you said about the public's right to know versus that balancing act. And you mentioned a comment about, because you're kind of using deception in a way.
Yeah, and I got that from you, the public right to know. I called you about this, and that's when you told me that.
Yes, you did.
I said, what do you think?
And I think we have some screenshots from American Muckraker. Where's the book? It's so funny that my book is called Muckraker. From American Muckraker. But before we show you the screenshot, I'm going to read you. I read like 100 books on journalism ethics. This is like the journalism nerd in me. I think my audience, 90% of my audience doesn't care, but I'm going anyway. Chapter on deception. You mentioned, what was the word you mentioned? Confidence man or violation of trust?
It's a violation of trust.
And that's something that I reckon with, because it's sort of like, I don't know if it's karma, but the energy that we put into the world is going to come back to bite us.
Yeah, I feel that sometimes.
Yeah, it's very heavy. And I've been doing this for 21 years. And, remember the Fed publishing my girlfriend's messages? I mean, I would never do that to somebody.
Yeah, it's messed up.
But it's almost like a kind of universe justice thing. It's the energy that we put into the world. Let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
Would you want someone doing that to you? Or how would you feel like if someone did that to you? What you're doing to these other people, secretly recording them.
I mean, of course I wouldn't feel good about it, but I will tell you, doing this, and I don't know if it's so much, well, it's definitely for me doing this, but I don't know if I would have been this careful before I started doing this. It's just hard to put myself back in, my shoes 5 or 6 years ago, but I just can't imagine being in an authoritative position and then meeting a total stranger and then just spilling everything out. I just can't imagine that. So I'm very careful with when I'm talking to strangers. I just assume that I'm being recorded until there's actual trust that's
Did that
built.
change once you started doing this?
Oh, well, and now we've more so, absolutely. With everybody, basically.
With everybody?
Well, I mean, obviously barring certain, but
do you do that from a sense of, do you do that from a sense of, I need to not be a hypocrite, or do you do that from a sense of someone might be a spy, or both? Or a different reason?
Yeah, okay. Like, which one's stronger? Like, am I paranoid that this might be a spy, or do I? No, I mean, it's more so, imagine that the person who's going and doing the undercover stuff is actually also a moron who spills everything out on a date or something like that. I mean, what kind of person would I be? I'd look like an absolute stooge. So just don't be that guy.
Yeah. Well, it's for me, it's you got to be. We had an ethics rule at Project Veritas, and it was act like there are 12 jurors around you, because eventually in my case there always will be, because stuff goes to court and people always try to keep secrets. It's like, for the most part, there are no secrets. This is from a chapter called Deception. Every good journalist is a confidence man. This is Janet Malcolm here. Every journalist is kind of a confidence man, preying upon people's vanity, ignorance, or loneliness, gaining their trust, betraying them without remorse. The catastrophe suffered by the subject is no simple matter of an unflattering likeness or a misrepresentation of his views. What pains him, what rankles him, and sometimes drives him to extremes of vengefulness is the deception that has been practiced upon him. On reading the article or book in question, he has to face the fact that the journalist, that's you, who seemed so friendly and sympathetic, so keen to understand him, so remarkably attuned to his vision, never had the slightest intention of collaborating with him on his story, but always intended to write a story of your own. And I think that, certainly for me, the betrayal in life, just people betraying me, has hurt the most.
Yeah.
But as a reporter, you kind of have to do that on a regular basis to expose the plight of the children.
Mm-hmm.
And is something you ethically struggle with?
Again, I think it depends. I don't really have an issue. How do I put this? If somebody's saying something to me and it's not a condemnation of them, it's not them doing something, like they're not a part of it. Maybe they're telling me something, that they were witness to or that they saw. Maybe I will blur their face, because they're telling me something. They're not actually a part of it. There's nothing that they could have done differently. They're not an authority figure.
Participating in it.
Exactly.
And the Border Patrol agent is kind of participating in it.
Well, correct. Like he said he could blow the whistle, but he didn't blow the whistle.
And again, I may be completely agreeing with you, so understand that my line of questioning here is not because I'm agreeing with what I'm asking you. It's because I want to understand, because I get asked the same questions. But these guys, when they blow the whistle, they ruin their lives.
They do.
And it's tough to find a sustainable whistleblower model. Laura Logan, my first guest on the show, talked to me about the most legendary journalist, Gary Webb. Have you heard of him?
Oh, yeah.
The kill a messenger dude. He blew the whistle on the CIA's stuff that they were doing with the drugs in Los Angeles, and he shot himself in the head twice. It's an impressive accomplishment.
He did?
But yes. That's how he died. Suicide.
What was his book? Gary Webb's book about it was the CIA.
The Dark Alliance.
Dark Alliance. That's the book that I read from him. I forgot the name of the book. It was a great book. I didn't even know that.
Shot himself in the head twice.
Was that recently?
I believe it was the 2004.
Wow, I didn't even know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's really disturbing. I had no idea.
It is disturbing.
Because I read Dark Alliance kind of recently, and I had no idea that happened.
I haven't. I've read To Kill a Messenger, which is the book about him.
Okay.
Have you seen the movie?
No.
With the actor Jeremy something. Forgot Jeremy's last name. But it is dark. What we do.
Yeah.
It's heavy.
Yeah.
And there it is. Webb killed himself with 2 gunshots to the head.
I don't know how I didn't know that.
How does someone? I guess it's possible. If you slightly miss on the first time around.
No, I don't think so.
2004.
Whew. That's pretty impressive. Not even Adolf Hitler did that. Adolf Hitler took a cyanide tablet and went through the mouth. That's not possible.
You're messing with some powerful people. But yeah, I remember you called me about the privacy thing, and this is also from American Muckraker. I can just read it, or we can put it up on the screen. One party consent and harm. Leonard Downey writes, the investigative reporter must face the fact that his stories will hurt people and harm and accessing harm. It's kind of subjective because it really depends upon the subjectivity of, like, you care a lot about immigration, and I may agree with you.
Invasion.
But to someone who disagrees with that, they might have a different calculation about whether or not. So it really kind of depends upon the person doing the ethic, like what's the subjective view of the policy issue, and that's why this is such a. The journalist must find a balance between the very real importance of the information to be shared and the potential harm done to the individual. And then came television, and then came hidden cameras. So yeah, the balancing test, not an easy thing. it's almost like you have to use it selectively on child trafficking. Perhaps it's justified.
What's that? He's showing the face versus not showing the face. Yeah, I believe so.
And Border Patrol agents, I mean, play this clip from Line in the Sand of this Border Patrol agents. We saw the cartel, and then I saw them just watching. If we can pull that clip up, because you and I were talking about this.
Get out.
Film. Sir, just down that way, there's cartel members threatening us, and they're going through the fence. All right, I'll get to you. Why aren't you over there?
I'm here, wait. Have a good day, guys.
What?
Cut. It was just like, I haven't gotten it yet, but I know that some of those guys down there are on the take.
Oh, 100%. I don't doubt that at all.
I want to get that on video.
Yeah, I do not doubt that at all. And actually, oh my God. Well, something I can't even say because the guy
don't
is
say
now.
it if
Well,
you're
no, I will tell you this. So how do I? Okay, so I spent a lot of time. But by the way, just to go back to the ethics thing, and I'll move on to this. There are a couple of things, so we saw the video of the Border Patrol agent. I showed his face, but there are certain things. So just so the audience doesn't come away from this thinking like that this is that it's all betrayal and all deception. If there's an agreement, if I have an agreement with somebody, even if they are doing something criminal, I mean, I've talked to Chinese illegal aliens. I don't know if these are spies. I don't know who these people are. They're coming in the back door in this mass caravan full of Chinese people, very shady. Where are they getting their money from? How are they doing this? How do they know the route that they're taking? So it's very sketchy. I mean, they shouldn't be in the country, but I say to them, oh, can I interview you? Yes, if you blur my face. I'm not going to betray that. I won't betray that.
If you agree with them.
If we agree up, no. I'm saying if I make an agreement up front, even if you're doing something criminal, I'm not going to betray it because I think that's wrong. I won't do that. If there's an upfront agreement, also with the children, like we got undercover footage with a lot of the kids that we found. I wouldn't publish that because there's no. Am I trying to expose the kid?
Okay, but here's a tricky one. What if the subject says to you, "Are you recording me?" and you say no? Is that a violation of that agreement?
That's a very good question.
Now you're entering a really tough one.
Yeah, we're getting philosophical now.
This is where this goes. It's like one ethicist described it. It's almost like you're trying to justify. It's like you're trying to invent fireproof coal or dry water. It's a tautology because you just said, if I will honor my agreement, but some cases you're not going to honor your agreement. Mm-hmm. So it's very tough.
Yeah.
But some journalists have suggested it's kind of like this. It's like off the record, you can't violate that. So, by the way, this is like what we're doing is we're pioneering here. So, if someone says this is off the record, I almost I have to make a decision about whether I'm willing to honor that or not. And if I'm willing to, I have to keep my word.
Right.
Those magic words. I don't know what you think about that. But.
Right. Well, I think you'll lose your credibility, and if word gets out that somebody can't trust you to go, I guess, on the record, maybe with a redacted face or off the record, whatever. Yeah. If you're no longer somebody that can be trusted, nobody's going to come to you. You're going to lose all credibility. Right.
Well, that's the bread and butter of journalism is trust.
Right.
That's why I use hidden cameras, because the problem with getting people to come to you, you become a slave to access, and access journalism carries with it its own vices. Now you are at the dependency of the administration, or they're feeding you falsehoods. But this is tough. This is not an easy. It's very academic. We could talk for hours about it.
But you were asking me about I sidetracked. You were asking me about, or you brought up the Border Patrol agent. You said you think some of them are on the take. So I'll tell you, and this is something that's still ongoing. I spent like a couple of months going back and forth from Miami to Mexico and going out into the desert with these people, these searchers that go out and they look for people that have died at the hands of the cartel. Saw some brutal stuff. Saw a man who literally got not just scalped. I mean, they cut off his face. And yeah, it was a fresh body. This wasn't something that had been decomposing I think it happened the night before.
They cut off his face?
His face was missing. They literally carved off this guy's face.
So you saw the innards of his...
It's just his skull was left over. It was horrible. I mean, it was still attached to his body. It was a full body. His face was... They took his face and did something with it. I don't know what they did with it. So a lot of messed up stuff. Anyway, So to bring up to go back to your point about the corrupt border patrol. So everybody suspects that on some of these Indian reservations that border the United States that there's something afoot there because they're it's like a nation within a nation. And we went deep into one of these areas, and when I say deep, I mean this area that's cartel controlled. We literally had 20 federal police trucks, Mexican federal police trucks with us. That's how dangerous it is in there. And these guys were still spooked. They were like, we shouldn't be here. We're driving through and I haven't published all this because I want to put in a documentary and I just don't have all the pieces yet. But I will tell people some of the stuff we found. We're driving this area. One of the things we found, and this is bordering the Tohono Indian Reservation in Arizona. I'm going to get to your point about the Border Patrol agents. So, I mean, like one of the things we find on the way, these massive burn pits. I mean, these things must be like 20 feet wide and like 10 or 15 feet deep where they just take bodies and burn them. It's brutal. And so anyway, we keep going. And eventually we come across we go up this mountain. People suspect that there's like an area where there might be some bodies up this mountain. There's nothing. We're coming back down. And we run into an explosive stash. And this is literally, we're talking like 3-4 miles from the U.S. border. I could see the United States, the mountains off in the distance, but it borders the Indian reservation. And I have since learned from people in, let's just say, a 3-letter agency. Think of any 3-letter agency that might operate in that area. That it's known by these men that it's so corrupt on these Indian reservations, and that's why they operate there, because it's just like a porous area where anything goes.
And is it the Border Patrol agents on the Indian reservations or some other?
Well, see, that's so I couldn't tell you that, but what I will tell you is the Border Patrol agents do operate there. They still crawl along that border, even in those areas. I've been there. I've literally gone. It's very sketchy in the Indian reservations. It's like no border there.
The Ajo, Arizona, is that?
It's the Tohono like Otam reservation, right?
Yeah, I didn't go there, but I know about it.
Yeah, I've driven in there. I've gone right up to the border and literally been at this. It's
Are
like
you
a
allowed
crummy,
to drive on?
No, I don't think you're allowed to.
So
they can harass you. We just did it, and you could walk right across. Like literally hop this. It's not even a fence. It's like these little metal structures that they have that you could crawl under or climb over, and you're in Mexico. And we had so I know Border Patrol surveils this area because we had a Border Patrol guy come up and kindly escort us out of the area. But the point is that I've heard since I was in this area where I could see the U.S. border from the Mexican side, where we found explosive stash, we're searching for bodies, that this is where they run drugs and explosives and weapons across the U.S. border. And the idea that Border Patrol has no idea, I think, is absolutely asinine. And so
it's also a tough thing for people. I have found it's tough for people to accept.
Yeah.
You and I and Taylor talked about this, I think, over dinner. I think it was like the idea that you're not allowed to investigate that. Though they're good guys. What do you mean they're good guys? I mean, they could be good. They could be, what does that mean?
Right.
It's like when I got started doing Planned Parenthood stuff. It's like regardless of your views on abortion, they're a good organization. Okay, what does that mean?
We need Jordan Peterson. How do you define good?
Well, yes, but not even that. It's like I investigate the good guys. It's like hate the sin, don't hate the hate the sin, hate the sinner. It's like you could be good and do bad things.
That's right.
So I'm investigating the bad things the good people are doing.
That's right.
What does it matter whether they're good?
Yeah.
But do you see what I'm saying? It seems like a lot of more conservative, Republican-oriented people, they tend to place these people in a protective bubble.
Yeah.
And that's what struck me was the religion of apathy, as Aaron Vecchi said about Border Patrol agents. They just seemed like they were just mostly doing a job, making $130 a year, having a pension. But it's kind of a bullshit thing. Like they're not actually enforcing the border. They're just catching people and processing them.
Correct.
So I would be pretty depressed, to be honest with you. My life would have no meaning, right? So I guess, but we haven't proven on video that any of them have actually taken a bribe. But you're confident that that's true.
I'm very confident. I mean, we haven't proven it, but I mean, it wouldn't be the first time. It's known that people have gotten caught like letting certain things come across official ports of entry. That's known.
It's certainly more effective if it's on video, though.
Of course.
Like if they're like
that would be that's the money shot. Like you always talk about getting the shot. That is the shot.
And then they say it's an isolated. That's one bad apple, and then the question is how common do you think it is? How common, based upon your reporting or your intuition, do you think it's 10% of guys? Do you think it's half of people?
I couldn't tell you, but I mean, what I will say is this. I mean, the cartel, what you might know, I'm speaking now off some, I wasn't prepared to speak about this particular thing, but it was Carrie Lake released some hidden audio that she had with, it was like a top Republican chair.
Yes. Yep.
I forget the gentleman's name.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. He's a Republican guy.
And he was like blackmailing her, and he was trying to get her not to run.
Yeah.
Right? And one of the things he said, which I thought was incredible, is he said, it was like a veiled threat. He goes, the cartel operates now in all 50 states. Like, you got to be careful. He said that in the recording. It's like a veiled threat. And so my point is this, and I'm just using that as one example.
Yeah.
You think about that. You think about these Border Patrol guys who are operating right there, day and night, and some of these areas are like super remote. You think that the cartel doesn't reach out to some of these people or make threats to them or make bribes to them?
How do they do that? Or you don't know?
I couldn't tell you. I'm not a cartel
But the cartel's
man.
got a very sophisticated, and perhaps more than people would think.
Right.
They've got this. I mean, they built roads in Mexico. They built infrastructure. They help people.
They do.
I think people think of them in the back of a Nissan pickup truck, but they're probably a little more sophisticated in their approach.
Making hundreds of millions of dollars through this human trafficking operation to the United States. Listen, the idea that there's been no connections or attempted connections, it would just be naive to think so. But of course, again, this is
fear.
Well, there's
your guy said it in the video. He's like, I can't talk about this. I could lose my job. I mean, even that he can't talk about.
There was a story. I mean, just so everybody's aware. I mean, there was a story about it was some kid. I don't know if it was a kid. I don't know how old the guy was, but I think he was like on a live stream, and he was making some joke. And he was in the U.S. side. I think he was in South Texas somewhere. He was making some jokes about like screw the cartel or the cartel can't get me. I don't want to don't quote me on exactly what he was saying. And I think within a couple hours, the cartel literally showed up, threw him in the back of a truck, and took him to Mexico, and he was never seen again. And that's what these people will find you. I mean, this is not like a joke. Like, they're all over the
watching
place.
this episode right now. I mean, I'm sure they've seen the work that you've done.
Yeah, maybe. And I don't know if we're going to talk about the flyer. I mean, that was a sketchy thing.
Let's go to the flyer. Let's do that. That was the third major story. This was a big one. You got covered by the New York Times. You got covered by NPR. Fascinating stuff. I think they even mentioned Project Veritas. First of all, breaking news. This is when I say breaking news, I'm reading the tweet. April 15th, 2024. Tell the audience what this is.
Oof. So this was a flyer. So anyway, that's the backstory. Was we had my team at the time.
Who's your team?
Well, there's members who I think now, not because there's been any fallout, but for reasons we'll talk about off camera, it's better that I don't say their names.
Yeah.
Other than my brother and I, let's just say there were other people involved.
Videographers, you mean?
And investigators. Okay. Like the gentleman who actually went on the ground and found this.
Okay.
We basically, there was, there's all these illegal alien hotels where they all go to. After they get into the United States, they're sent to these hotels. They live there for free.
Ramada Inn and so forth.
Exactly. We heard from a hotel worker. He goes, hey, some guy showed up to this hotel and he had this flyer. And he said that he got it from Matamoros. And so we're like, that's interesting. So we sent one of the guys that was working for me at the time down to this area.
When was this?
This would have been April of 2024, last year. And goes into this. It's right across the border from Brownsville. And goes to this place. It's the Matamoros Resource Center. And right across from this resource center, there's like a park, and there's this whole encampment full of illegal aliens. And this is on video, and I believe in like the subtweet, you guys can actually see the video. Goes in with hidden camera glasses, and they just have these flyers plastered everywhere on the porta potties, and it's like, I forget exactly what it says. It's right there. There's also an English translation.
Reminder to vote for President Biden when you're in the United States.
Right. Yeah.
It says is recordatorio para votar por el presidente Biden cuando estés en Estados Unidos.
Yep.
And then this next line, we need another 4 years of his term to stay open. Necesitamos otros 4 años de su mandato para permanecer Alberto. And that's signed by Gaby
Zevala.
Who's Gaby Zevala?
Gaby Zevala has since, I believe she's running like a ghost organization now. Although I don't think she's disappeared entirely. She was the head of this Matamoros Resource Center. And so anyway, we got this flyer. And it was incredible with this. Well, I guess a couple things. So first, we get the flyer. and then we want to corroborate the flyer. So my brother and I go to this Matamoros Resource Center. The sketchy thing about that
you get it in the United States. You find out about it.
Well, we found out about it, but we actually we obtain a copy of this in Mexico.
Okay.
In Mexico, and then we go back one more time because we're like, okay, let's see if we could get somebody on camera, like somebody from the actual resource center that's handing these things out on camera. So my brother and I go down there. The sketchy thing about going down there was, like I said, this is right across the United States border, and this place is located. The Matamoros Resource Center that was handing these out is located right next to this port of entry.
What city? What part of the United States?
This would have been Matamoros, so it's right across from Brownsville in the United States.
That's a dangerous place.
Oh yeah, well the sketchy part about this is, we had touched upon earlier that my brother and I were kidnapped. After we were kidnapped, we were dropped off at the port of entry, and the cartel said never come back here again.
And you're going back again.
And they dropped us off at the port of entry. The same port of entry went back here, and this is now a couple months later. We're coming back and we're screwing with these people.
Oh man.
And so anyway, we go in, we talk with these guys, and they get us on their Ring doorbell. It was actually pretty lackluster what we ended up getting from them as far as their statements. But anyway, then they come out with this whole campaign. I guess it's worth mentioning what people will do to try to spin this. The whole spin with this, it was fake. They claimed it was
a forgery.
They claimed it was a forgery. Right.
That was their attack.
And so this is what the New York Times will do, and this is my point. They will take the word, so they don't take our word. They don't take the video evidence that we have of this being plastered everywhere.
Yeah.
They don't, we have it on video. You could go in the subject, you could see the video. It's everywhere.
Let's go to the New York Times article. They didn't even, did you release a video of these doorbell
well, the New York Times did of us, and they claim that we were harassing them.
No, but did you publish your video? Did you publish any video or undercover recordings?
No, it didn't seem like there was much to it. But
let's play this New York Times thing.
There's not even much to it. But
this is security camera footage. The New York Times. I just find it ironic the New York Times is sending their investigative reporters to investigate you.
I know, that's the thing. But here's what they do, and they've done this to me multiple times. So they don't bother here. They don't consider, that's we're by default wrong. Everything that Gaby Zevala, the lady who's running that organ, is right.
Yeah, well,
and it's just this default. That's what they did.
Here we go. A mysterious flyer, a tiny charity, and a disinformation. Wait, they're reporting that this is a disinformation campaign? Isn't that defamation?
Maybe.
I mean, they said that about me in the Minneapolis story. I sued them and I won before I was fired from Project Veritas.
What, for saying something like that?
Yeah, well, they didn't even go as this far. The New York Times headline with me was, it was like apparently, or that some other guy said I'm disinformation. No. The New York Times just, as a matter of fact, said that you are disinformation campaign. A flyer urging migrants to vote for President Biden rocketed around right-wing social media. Right-wing. Are you right-wing? Are you right-winger?
Well, it depends how you lay out the political spectrum. But
what do you consider yourself politically?
I mean, more libertarian, but I don't jive with some of the things on the libertarian card, like some serious things.
What do you not jive with?
Well, they're open borders, and I don't think that's a good thing.
So are you libertarian except for the border issue?
For the most part, yeah. Okay. I would say that's accurate.
Let's keep going. But was it authentic? Well, let's just go back over to the headline. I just think these two things so far already contradict. So you are a disinformation campaign, but we don't know whether it was authentic or not.
Right.
So that doesn't jibe. Keep going. I enjoy this, so I'm going to read this, Anthony, and we can stop and talk about it. This is not that long. 2 men rang the bell at Matamoros, a migrant aid group. Security footage was shared with the New York Times. Keep going. They left. Mrs. Zevala didn't know it yet. So yeah, they're taking her side. She's the gospel.
We ambushed them. We were provocateurs.
They're provocateurs. So if you're a provocateur for going there and reporting, I guess that makes New York Times reporters provocateurs. Building an online following. Also projection, because you're not doing this to build a following, but they want to build a following, so they're projecting their own motivations onto you. With hidden camera exposés and ambushes. Well, did you ambush people down there?
Anybody. Yeah, we ambushed them. That's what we did.
You just walked up and asked questions.
That's right.
To claim to uncover abuse and election fraud. Keep going. And by the way, the flyer, just for pause for a second, this flyer that says you should vote for Biden, why is that morally wrong or fraudulent in any respect? Because they're a nonprofit, or what was the issue with that?
Oh God! Well, there's so many things wrong. First of all, illegal aliens are not supposed to vote.
Oh,
ever.
Well, there's that.
And that's the biggest thing. I mean, second, there was always this suspicion, right? Well, they're letting them in because they want them to vote in our elections and to flip the certain areas
But how
blue.
could they even vote?
Well, that's a whole other thing.
Separate
And
issue.
that's what we investigated all summer.
Maybe Mrs. Zevala has information about how they vote.
But, well, I don't know if you want to keep reading.
Mrs. Zevala realized something was off, uploaded the images of a flyer with the group's logo to social media into a political firestorm. The flyer, written in Spanish and purportedly found hanging in portable toilets. So these are in like porta-johns and
That's right.
Okay. They had like portable toilets in the camps, like plastic booths almost.
Though there's a video of it on X.
Reminder to vote for Biden. Many on the right, it was a smoking gun. It's like conservatives pounce. Conservatives pounce like a tiger. Confirming debunked theories about the left schemes. That's so ridiculous. To urge immigrants to vote illegally for Democrats. Yeah, but you're not claiming that. You're quoting the document. The Post quickly racked 9 million views. Were those impressions or views on X?
Well, whatever.
Nevertheless, it's a lot.
Yeah.
Shared by Tim Scott and others. I would call it treason, says Taylor Green. Keep going. Oh, she confronted Mayorkas about this? Wow.
Yeah, Marjorie Taylor Greene did, yeah.
In a congressional hearing?
Yes. The very next day, I think.
So Mrs. Zevala, so she called the document a fake. Okay. Well, that's interesting. I've had people that I've investigated say things that were fake that they were not. And part of the plot to prevail a narrative. The phone number's out of date. Presence of Anthony and Joshua Rubin, brothers from Long Island, known as Muckrakers, at the building earlier that day. Keep going. What? Wait, go back up to that paragraph. The New York Times is saying, go back up, that they're saying that the strongest evidence was your presence. What does that mean? The strongest evidence that it's a fake?
Listen, it's a nonsense article.
It's a non sequitur.
Well, listen, we can read through this whole thing.
We're almost done.
Okay, go for it.
Keep going. I like understanding how these people operate because, Anthony, a lot of people are deterred from doing this because they don't want to get smeared like you've been.
I find this fun. This is the most fun for me.
Me too. That's why I'm reading it.
This is how you know you've been successful.
No, it's also you're earning their real estate. You're changing the space-time continuum.
That's right.
Okay, and then she says, I feel violated, the implication of rape. And by the way, this is what they do. They say that there's death threats, blah, blah, blah. No one contacted. So the only thing I would say to you, the only thing, Anthony, my advice is you should reach out for comment. I don't know if you did.
No.
I think that's the one bit of advice. I hope you're okay with me saying that on camera. I think it's important to include their response in your report.
Well, like I said, I have taken you've said that to me before, and it's something that I am going to take seriously going forward. Like I said, this latest thing we did in Europe, there's going to be a lot of people who are going to reach out to comment.
Did the New York Times reach out to you for comment forwarding this?
On this one, I believe they did. Actually.
Okay. Did you give them a quote?
I may have.
Oh, there you go.
Honestly,
Okay, there you
remember.
go. In her interview with the New York Times, Anthony Rubin acknowledged that he and his brother falsely identified themselves as volunteers. But they did not plant the flyer. So they're trying to use your undercover.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I see.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the journalism gods, at the Columbia Journalism Review. That's the argument they make, that if you use false pretenses, then the information that you're reporting is fake. But the distinction there is that you're not lying to your audience. You're using deception to get in there so you can report the truth to your audience.
Right.
A distinction lost upon them. Mike Howell, executive director of this organization, stands behind you. Keep going. I'm just seeing if there's anything else. Nothing you published is inaccurate. Made a name for yourselves, taking a page from the Gotcha Group Project Veritas. Edited videos, much like this article is quite edited, by the way, focusing on child trafficking, hot button topic on the right. Not sure why that's right wing. Keep going. Keep going. So this is their...
Oh, look. They don't like that we use the terms military-aged men and invaders. I mean, you're not allowed to use accurate
Facts.
terms with these people.
Keep
Yeah,
going.
exactly.
You were on Jesse Waters, Ben Shapiro. Keep going. I think we're getting to the end of the article. Just scroll down quickly. Keep going. We go back up, send a letter to Letitia James. Who's it? Oh, La Jornada.
That was a different situation.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I see. It's another one we did. Jornada's executive director, Pedro Rodriguez, called Mr. Rubin's characterization misleading. All it gives you is an address where you can receive an email. So this is the Heritage Foundation was working with you on this at the time, which, by the way, a barrage of hateful phone calls and emails they keep using this old saw that they get criticism after you publish videos about them.
I know, like they're the victims.
The aggressor becomes the victim.
That's what I'm saying. And so I've noticed with these people, that's what they do. So there was another story that we put on. This is basically, and this, you could take this, what I'm about to tell you, and really apply it to any sort of article from the New York Times, knowing that this is how they operate. There was another story we did where we went knocking on doors in Georgia in these communities that are all illegal
I remember
aliens.
that story.
It was a very simple thing.
It got like 50 million views.
Yeah,
it was like insanely
It was
viewed.
insane. Elon Musk pinned it on his profile for like 24 hours. So, I mean, it went mega viral. And it was a very simple expose. And I was actually surprised nobody had done it. Just knock on doors. Are you a citizen? No. Are you registered to vote? And a lot of them said yes. And so we published that. Then what happened was, and I'm just getting fuzzy on the exact specifics here, but basically what happened was we then have a meeting with, let's just say, some state government officials in Georgia. And they go, okay, well, hey, will you provide us with the address list? Because we want to go investigate this, right? They don't investigate it. What they do is they hand off the specific apartments to, it was either the New York Times or a different group whose name I don't recall, but it's in the hit piece. If you guys, you guys can find it here or put it in post or whatever, or the audience could look it up. But basically there was what they did is the state government in Georgia handed off the addresses where we knocked on, the non-citizens said that they were registered to vote. Instead of investigating it, they handed it off to a media organization, New York Times or somebody else, who then went out and interviewed these people and came back and wrote a story about how they were all victims about us. That's what they did. And they were all victims.
These are the Georgia state legislatures?
That's right.
Were they Republicans?
That's right.
Now, why would the Republicans be playing footsie with the New York Times?
Oh, I couldn't tell you.
I
don't know if it was the New York Times that did the knocking. It might have been a different media organization.
But eventually
that did this,
it made it way to the New York Times.
Yes.
I mean, but you know, but that's changing a little bit now, because the 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years ago, people really feared these legacy media institutions from shaming them, giving them the scarlet letter.
Yeah.
But I do feel like times are a changing.
Yeah.
And they've lost a lot of power. And even my theory was always the Republican Party. I started 20 years ago. They did, in fact, fear Politico. They fear the New York Times.
Mm-hmm.
That quote by the celebrity, which actor is it? Mel Gibson said that what people really fear is to be shamed. They fear that shame by like a New York Times. And he said, I don't give a shit. And you strike me as someone who you kind of enjoy it.
Well, like I said, I think it's fun.
What is fun about it?
Kind of like what you said. It's like you're occupying their space. I mean, you know that these organizations are so corrupt. You know, they're like government.
Is there 1% of you, or a fraction of 1% of you, that wants their respect?
That's a good question. I don't know that I ever think about it like that. I mean, I don't really think about it like that. I don't think I really care, to be honest with you.
You don't care at all?
Not really. Not really. I mean, I used to go on Fox News, and that was nice. They stopped having me on.
Why?
Because they like I would like to, like that sucked. Like there was like a period last year for about 6 months where they would have me on pretty frequently, and then it just stopped. And I found out it was because somebody sent a cease and desist letter, according to somebody at Fox. According to somebody at Fox.
A source. Someone from this organization?
No, not from this. It was somebody sent. I have my suspicions. Sent a cease and desist letter, and never got invited on again.
Regarding a specific story you've done,
something that I said on Fox News.
Oh, I see.
I have Well, actually, I almost 100% know who it was.
Can you say what it is that you said?
You know what? I don't want to get into it because this guy threatened to sue me, and I just don't want to even open that can of worms.
Discovery might be interesting in a case like that, but
well, let's just say it was an illegal alien. It was an illegal alien, and this guy, it's so ridiculous. You come here illegally, and then you could threaten American citizens who are speaking honest truth about you.
And that raises interesting questions about economics and about the fact that people don't do what you do. By the way, let me ask you a question. Who do you admire in journalism? Do you have a name or two of people who are doing Because there are very few people doing it, but there are people doing it. Can you think of anybody that you look up to and did the truth, the digging, the reporting, you respect in the media?
Well, I will tell you, and this is not me kissing your ass, I always appreciated the work that you did. And that's why even just coming into your office right now, I mean, this is it's an incredible thing to see, because you do this.
I gave Anthony a tour of the new facility. It's been about a month since we've had it.
Yeah, I mean, because I've known about Veritas since I was a teenager. And it was just always an inspiring thing. And more so than that, to see somebody do it in an independent manner, you're not attached to some, you're not attached to, some sort of legacy media outlet. It's your own thing. That I find inspiring. That and Vice News, old school Vice News before they sold out.
Vice,
that was
Shane
my favorite.
Smith. Is there one that you really looked up to?
Like one of the founders, you mean?
Or just a particular YouTube video that you really like?
Yeah, it's not the men. It's the I don't care about the men, but the stories.
Which story really appealed to you?
I think the coolest one was when they found the North Korean slave laborers deep in Siberia that were chopping down trees, doing logging. That was the most insane thing.
Well, they say they're going to bring. Shane's coming back. I think he made a lot of money, and
he must have made out incredibly.
Very good marketing and businessman, but not doing it anymore. One. I want to go back to economics, and I want to get to the Q&A here soon. We have members who are subscribers to OMG who are going to be asking Anthony Rubin questions. This is going to be amazing. It's going to be live. And we're going to start this. You're the fourth guest on the show, but the first time we're doing this. But let's go to the Pedro Rodriguez clip, Anthony, because you and I have an interesting relationship. I've inspired you, but you've also inspired me. And a lot of this reporting I've done on the immigration thing have come after your original reporting. So this is Pedro Rodriguez in Queens, New York. Why don't we just play that really quick clip of they're like stamping they're
residency
giving,
papers.
Yeah.
Also for them.
But how far could we push the envelope? The workers at La Jornada were asked if we could procure residency for people who weren't even there.
The names?
The older one.
Okay.
So they're going to be the letter for.
Okay. Here, right?
We wrote down 4 names, including yours truly, James O'Keefe.
Okay, what's the gift, please?
It's 4.
Yeah.
4, how much? 40. Thank you.
Our residency applications quickly proceeded to Pedro Rodriguez. He's the executive director of La Jornada, which operates out of St. Paul's Episcopal Church.
Camera. It is.
Pedro appears to not examine the documents closely and just signs them without verifying their legitimacy. The documents receive a stamp of approval without any oversight. I had not yet even set foot in this place, but I now had an official document that claimed the church was my address, and I now reside in Queens, New York. All right, so we confront Pedro, and I think Pedro thought that I was you. And I never told anybody this, but play this clip of Pedro running out of the church like Bowser coming out. Watch.
Hey, this is you.
Heritage Foundation.
Stamping.
Heritage Foundation.
Foundation is a bunch of thieves. You're wanted in all these states.
Okay, pause. So, first of all, he's screaming at me, the Heritage Foundation, and at first I'm like, what the hell? And then, because you had done some work with them, and he thought you had done this work, and
yeah,
I didn't think he was gonna come out, but he came out like Bowser.
That guy just looks like he's up to no good in that hidden camera video, doesn't he?
Yeah, and he also says play this clip about stealing children, which is interesting.
Because you are a bunch of thieves and criminals and liars. You are unbelievable.
Stamping fake addresses.
Because you are a bunch of thieves and criminals. You steal children. Well, it seems you have been wanted in 3 states in South America because you are still children. I steal children. Yes, they steal children. Yeah, they do.
I'm going to tell you an incredible thing about this, by the way. Once you're
go ahead.
Well, I'm gonna. So we also
look at this guy's face. Wow. Just leave that on the screen.
So I'm gonna tell you.
This is crazy.
Yeah. Well, listen. I actually haven't followed up on this in a bit. This could be outdated. Maybe we should Google it. But I could say this with 99% accuracy. So we did the same thing you did. Went in there. You're selling these bogus residency permits, right? Residency paperwork. And for anybody that doesn't know what that is, basically, if you're, if you want to get a license or an ID and you go to the DMV, you need to show them proof of residency. And so usually the way you do that is you would show up with, a utility bill or something that was addressed to you that came in the mail, and you would bring it. Here's my proof. So they sell this, even though you don't actually live there. Right? Anyways, just so everybody's aware of what that is. They were selling this residency paperwork so that they could go get IDs, illegal aliens. And so where was I going with this? So basically we expose this, put it in an expose, publish it, refer it to the Attorney General
of New York,
Letitia James. Nothing's done about it. Think about that. Yeah. But just think about that. It's just so incredible. But if you're a farmer and you're selling raw milk, your door's going to get busted down. I don't think anything. Yeah, nothing ever happened to these people. I believe they're still in operation.
We should have a series called "Where Are They Now?"
Seriously,
so much to do. Why do you think he's talking about accusing me of stealing children? Is that?
I don't know.
I have two different theories, and sometimes I create false dichotomies. So if there's another theory, you let me know. A, he was trying to scare his parishioners who were now congregating around us, just to kind of say this guy's bad.
Mm-hmm.
B, it was literally demonic projection. Like this, he's accusing me of what he's guilty of. He's spazzing out.
Yeah, could be. I think of it a little bit differently. I don't know. It's hard for me to imagine this, but I could remember being a child and getting caught in a lie and not really knowing how to handle the situation, and just sort of just sort of get emotional. And it's almost like just the childish mentality. That's what I see there.
That's childish.
He's just a man
ranting.
like a man who can't handle himself.
It's pretty funny though. We had 3 cameras going around this guy. So Anthony Rubin is the one who originally reported on this guy. And then
we didn't actually get him. You got the head honcho.
I mean, reported on the situation.
You got him out of his hole.
And that was a God thing because we were about to give up. He was buried in that church, the catacombs of the church.
Spider hole.
So the only way to get him out was I started confronting people in the street. I was confronting his truck driver. I was confronting his aide, and he just lost his temper. Pride comes before the fall. Anthony, I want to get to the Q&A before I do the economics of mass media, and well, 3 more quick things. I think the money thing. I mean, how do you pay your bills?
That's a good question. Well, it's been very touch and go. I will say, I don't. This is not a very lucrative thing. I'm definitely not a broke artist. I'm not. That's not the situation that I'm in. But it's difficult. And every story, at least where I'm at, there's not really any wiggle room for doing a cool little feel good niche story that's not gonna have. It's got, at least where I'm at right now, it's got to be. If I'm a vet, for every dollar, there has to be maximum impact in the tail end as far as the story we're pursuing. That's just where I'm at.
How do you define impact?
How widely disseminated is this going to be as far as the public's interest in this issue? Is it publicly pertinent?
Is it measured by the number of views that it gets?
Well, I don't mean that. I mean, is it likely to have a mass impact? I mean, some stories are going to be more impactful than others.
Well, nonprofits usually measure their success in terms of the impact of policy or change, and for-profits literally measure how many eyeballs the story gets. That was my question was based upon. Is it both of these things, or is it one of them?
Well, I would say for now it has to be the latter, because in order to actually turn this into a profitable enterprise, you have to have as many eyeballs.
You're a for-profit company.
Yeah, I've never started a nonprofit. It spooks me out.
Why is that?
What happened to you, man? I mean, it's a muni. It's a communist structure. The idea of taking, and I've looked into it, the idea of taking Muckraker, I've put literally hundreds of thousands of dollars behind it. And if I turned it into a nonprofit just like that, it's gone forever. I never own it anymore.
Yeah. Well, you could have your brother on the board, I suppose.
I could, but either way. Yeah. You have to have a certain amount of non-familial board members, and it's just I'm giving it away. I just don't like it. There is an opportunity. I mean, I suppose I could have a separate nonprofit, kind of like what you do with citizen journalism at OMG. But no, I think there's a way to do it. What I'm going to do, I mean, I don't know if we want to touch on this. We just got back from this 2-month journey to Europe. We're going to turn that into a documentary. I'm pitching that around to some people, and I'm wondering if that's the way to do this. Create these very high fidelity documentaries, and then work with people who can distribute it. And if there's enough money there to then roll into the next one, or perhaps get a deal to make X amount of these things, sort of like what Vice did with HBO. Vice made, I don't know how many documentaries they did with HBO, but HBO was a distributor.
How are you making money right now? Subscriptions?
So we do work, like independent work, journalism work for some people. I also do software development.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're using some of the profits you make in software development.
Oh, yeah, to subsidize this, absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, usually, I admire that very much.
Yeah.
You're not necessarily asking other people's profits. You're making your own and using it to fund.
Well, I'm very bullish. I'm very bullish with where it can go. The thing is, there's a lot of upfront investment, especially in a media organization, to get the critical mass and to flip it into a profitable organization. There's a lot of upfront investment, and then you get in the talent.
I don't know. I mean, I was talking to Logan about this, and is investigative reporting even profitable in the long term?
Again, that's why I'm going to try this documentary format and see if we can partner with a distributor and do something like that. But I think it's very difficult. It's almost like a loss leader. Like you need something else, and then
it's like if a firm has even with this might be a little too esoteric, but even with the private equity buying all these newspapers, that's what private equity has been buying, all these local newspapers and squeezing out so they become ghost papers with just AP bulletins and no reporting. But on some hand, the capitalist system is designed to just make money. So they have a fiduciary responsibility to be doing this, but it's not good for. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Is philanthropy at the heart of what you do? I mean, frankly, right now.
Well, if it was, I wouldn't be doing it because I don't have enough philanthropic individuals contributing to my work.
We need to find some of those. I mean, these are challenges. I ask everyone these questions, and it seems to me you have to have a philanthropic heart to be a CEO or an owner and say, I'm going to lose money on one of my verticals because it's the right thing to do.
Yep. Yeah,
that seems to be what you're doing right now.
Yeah, that's absolutely the case. And I will tell you, I mean, I think that, well, like I said, I think that on the tail end, with any media organization, there's a ton of upfront cost, and then you get it on the tail end. But I think that, well, I mean, that's really it, man. That's it in a nutshell. Yeah.
Let's go to the one last question I have for you about the kidnapping. And you've already been on a lot of shows talking about this, and we don't have to flesh it all out because I know you told the story in depth. You were kidnapped by the Gulf Cartel. They put was it black hoods on you guys, and they brought you, was it to a field or something?
That's right.
And did they take the hoods off?
So what happened? Well, it's a long story, but what happened was we, just to put it succinctly, we followed the whole migrant trail, alien trail from South America to the U.S. border. We already talked about part of it with the ninja men on the train of death, and there was across the Darien Gap jungle and all this. We're finally getting to the U.S. border, and we're walking up this beach. It's called Playa Baghdad, and that's on the Gulf of America now. And it's like a 7-mile strip of beach. So the road drops you off. It's the last road. And you have to walk like this 7-mile stretch of beach. There's no other choice but to walk it till you reach where the where the Rio Grande spits out to the Gulf of America now, Gulf of Mexico formerly. If you cross that, you're then in the United States, where the SpaceX is, where Elon Musk's SpaceX facility is. So we're walking up this beach, and we walk probably like 5 miles or so. We're getting close, and a truck is driving this way. Truck stops, and it's basically like, "What are you guys doing? This and that. You should turn around." I'm like, "You guys should walk back. We'll give you a ride if you want." I'm like, "Nah, I don't think so. I think we're going to just get there. We're so close." I'm like, "It's right there." And for so many reasons, I'm not getting in their truck. I'm just like,
What's your destination?
To get to the U.S. We're going to swim across the border.
We're going to swim across the Rio Grande where it meets the ocean, Gulf?
That's right. We had big trash bags, so we were going to put all our shit in trash bags.
But isn't
and we were going to swim
wide
across.
and deep there?
You know what? Maybe the cartel saved our lives.
Did you have a life preserver?
No.
I think the cartel might have, anyway.
I don't know.
Continue. I have to look at a map, but I'm a sailor, so I'm obsessed with water depth and current. And where the Rio Grande meets the Gulf of America, that's intense.
I've been there on the U.S. side, like right there where I could see across, and it seems doable if we went inland enough, and then we got in.
How far inland were you going? A few miles, or?
Well, no, we're right on the beach.
Okay.
We did this right on the beach. So anyway, truck stops us. Basically says, get in the truck. Don't keep going. I'm like, nah. I was like, we got to keep going for so many reasons. I'm like, we got to finish the journey. Also, I don't know who the hell you are. Yeah. Okay. They're like, all right, your choice, but I'm calling somebody up now. Calls somebody up. Calls up this dude who's down the beach, like waiting right next to the U.S. border. He's like, listen, I call my buddy. He's like, if you go down there, and this is like broken Spanish. They don't speak English, but I speak enough Spanish to understand. Like, if you go down there, it's gonna be like trouble for you. Like, you got to get in the car with us. I'm like, shit, it doesn't look like we have a choice. There's no running out of this. I mean, we got to get in. We get in the truck. Guy drives us down towards the U.S. border. I can literally see SpaceX. I can see it. It's right in front of me. I can't see the river because it's on a descent,
SpaceX is located in the very southeast tip of Texas.
That's right. I can see it. It's right there. And then this guy that they called, I see him walking up to the truck. And as soon as I saw this guy, I'm like, damn, like, this is not good. I could just tell by his face. It's like got like a nasty looking face, like a war torn almost. Gets in the truck. And as soon as he gets in, they whip the truck around and they start driving back down south. I'm like, oh no, this isn't good. Gets on the phone with some lady, puts me on the phone with her, and she speaks. And by the way, this truck had Texas plates, just so everybody's aware. I mean, this is a Texas truck, so it shows that they cross the border back and forth. Anyway, puts me on the phone with this lady. She speaks perfect English. And long story short, she basically goes, I don't know what you think you're doing in this area, but you're in the hands of the cartel now. And I basically said, we're just photographers.
Did she speak Spanish or English?
She was speaking perfect English. And she was like, you're in the hands of the... I was like, listen, we're just photographers. We're just trying to take photos of SpaceX. I obviously didn't say we're journalists trying to cross the border. She's like, well, I'm not... She's like, listen, all I could tell you to do is tell them the exact same thing you've just told me. And basically, like, good luck. And that was it. Hang up the phone. This truck rolls up next to another truck where there's 3 armed men. They start screaming at us, get the hell out and get into our truck.
In Spanish or English?
In Spanish. And what we do, and they take our bag. We took our bags with us. And no, they took our bags for us. Now but I still had my phone, my electronics. I had my phone and my wallet on me. Now we're in this other truck, and we haven't been blindfolded yet. But now this other truck is driving us down inland, and I knew it went from. Actually at this point, I was actually filming them on my phone because I still thought I was going to get out of this.
Ballsy.
I thought we were going to get out of this. I was like, this is going to be great for a documentary.
This guy is crazy. No,
and I'm literally filming them on my phone. And
you're filming them while they're in the.
That could have got me shot in the head, so I'm filming them. And so what happened is they take. So at one point, the guy that's driving, he's like, hey, by the way, let me see your phone. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't think he saw me filming. He's like, let me see your phone. He takes it. He looks at it. And he just puts it in his middle console. I'm like, hey, can I have my phone back? And he just ignores it. I'm like, oh, shit. I'm like, this is getting bad. So then we end up pulling up to this spot, maybe like 10 minutes away from the beach. They pull us out of the truck. And they just start interrogating us. And they're like, what the hell are you doing? And now another truck rolls up. 4 more armed men. So there's 7 armed men surrounding us. And they're checking us for wires. They've searched every compartment of our bag. Ironically, they didn't find the GoPro. They didn't search the love handle package. So that we got away with our GoPro, which was great. But they find all of our electronics. They take my phone and they're searching through my phone. I'm like, holy shit! They're gonna find the video I just took of them. They just didn't find it somehow.
They got logged into your phone.
They were like, let us into a phone. Like we were checking your phone. We're checking everything. They were checking my camera.
You let them into your phone.
Yeah, and they were checking my camera. They were checking everything. At one point, this guy sees my drone, and he points to the drone, and he takes his pistol, and he goes like this, not to my head, but to his head, like almost like a death threat, like we're going to shoot you in the head for them, like, holy shit. And so, like, they were accusing us, they're asking us if we're intelligence agents, police, and I was like, no, just photographers, man. And so what happens is they end up, They go, okay, well, now you're part of the investigation. They turn us around, they want to like tie up our hands behind our back. And this is where we start resisting, like, whoa. And this is where they start screaming. They're like, put your fucking hand, like in Spanish, something they send to put your fucking hands behind your back. Like, I'm like, okay, I guess that's what we got to do now. Put our hands behind our back, they tie us up. I was wearing, you asked me in the beginning of this about bandanas, I was wearing a bandana. So they blindfolded me with my bandana. My brother was wearing this big oversized jacket, so they pulled the hood over it, and they were like, keep your head down, don't put it up. So that's what happened. This is the situation where we're now in the back, our hands are tied up.
What did they tie your hands with?
Just like some, I don't even know, just like some rope material that they had. And so they throw us in the back of this truck, and now we're driving around for, it was a couple hours, and I kept asking them, I'm like, what's going on? And they were like, investigation, we're going to see El Jefe. And they just kept saying
boss.
That. They were going to see the boss. You're part of an investigation. They kept saying this, and I kept asking them, I was like, how much money do you want? I was like, we'll go to an ATM right now. I'll pull out everything I have, and I'll give it to you. Just let us go. And they're like, no, we're part of an investigation. Or you're part of an investigation. We're going to see El Jefe. And then eventually it got to the point where they just stopped answering us.
Yeah.
And I was trying to tell my brother, I was like, get your hands loose. I was like, just do what you can to get your hands loose. And I got my hands to the point where I felt like they didn't really tie it that tight. It was kind of a joke. I felt like I could get my hand out. And not that we could have done anything. We would have been shot in the head. But anyway, we got to the point where they stopped answering us. And I literally told my brother, I told him I was sorry. because it was my responsibility. I'm his older brother. And I told the cartel guys, not that I mean, I don't know that I thought that they were going to actually, you know, acknowledge my word. But I did tell them, I said, listen, if you're going to shoot anybody, just please shoot me and let my brother go. That's what I said. And that was on. I couldn't, for many reasons, I couldn't imagine if my brother was to have gotten shot.
And you survived. Yeah. That would be
I might as well just die. I'd rather just kill me there. I don't want to. Like, that would have been so horrible. I couldn't imagine going home to my, for so many reasons. So anyway, and also I'm the leader of the operation. I got us into the situation. So anyway, after many different stops, people walking up to the car and poking their heads in. Again, I can't see them. I just hear them chattering. They're looking at us, and I hear them as they roll up and the windows would be down. They're like whispering about us, like, are these agents or what are these guys? Eventually, we end up, you know, on these dirt roads. The truck stops, doors open up, they pull us out. You know, the blindfolds come off, and we're in the middle of an empty field. I'm like, holy shit, this is where you die. What are we doing here? I could see another cartel truck like out in the distance, like, you know, with like guys in the bed of the truck and driving away, and I'm like, damn, this is not going to go well. A car
you thought
pulls,
you were going to die
for a little bit there. Yeah, I was like, this is not good. So they take us away from the truck. They lay out, and a car rolls up. This guy gets out of the car, and what they do is they start screaming at us. They're like they lay out all of our electronics. They start screaming, like, do we have all of your electronics? And I'm like, and I looked. And I knew they didn't have the GoPro. I'm like, yeah, that's everything. They're screaming, you're telling me this is everything. I'm like, yep, that's everything. And this guy who came in this car gets out with a crowbar and just smashes everything. And I actually tried, at this point, I'm still trying to negotiate. I'm like, can we get our footage? And they're just, I almost tried like moving in to get my camera, and they're screaming.
But you had just journeyed. And
it was like too painful to see. And they're just taking all of our shit, smashed everything. They took the drone. They didn't smash the drone. And but when they did that, I knew that, like,
it's kind of funny. You went to the ATM and tried to extract every dollar, but you were more worried about your camera footage.
Yeah, that was worth thousands of dollars to me. But as soon as they started smashing everything, I had almost I breathed a sigh of relief, because in my heart I was like, okay, I don't think they're gonna kill us, because they wouldn't have bothered. They would have just shot us already. They smashed everything, and then they were basically like, that's the cost of your life, and never come back here again. They loaded us up into the car and drove us to the border, and that was it. And then we ended up going. I tried negotiating. I found, the cartel actually has Facebook groups. I actually went on a Facebook group and tried negotiating to get my footage back. Didn't work. Wow. A waste of like about $1,000. But that was an experience of it in its own. I actually ended up getting a video from that ended up being kind of worth the money. But anyway, it's a different story.
Yeah. Why do you think they spared your life?
Oh, it was not for humanitarian purposes, and I don't think.
Why? Why did they spare your life?
I think that it was just. I think that whoever the head honcho was probably just said, you know what? Maybe they bought our story, that we were just photographers, and they probably, a couple of Americans had been killed by that same organization about a year before we were there. There was a group of like 4 Americans. Now they might have been up to no good, but 2 of them got killed. And just recently, within the last 3 or 4 months, there was a Mexican band that got killed by the Gulf Cartel. Just like 3 or 4 months ago. I think all 5 of these bands, I think it was about 5 of them, they found dead. These people they're
so why did
people.
They leave you alone?
I think it was a matter of convenience. I just don't think they wanted to have some Americans go missing and then bring heat on them. That's all that was. I think
pragmatism.
I think had we been like Venezuelans or Mexicans, I think we were dead men. Wind up in a ditch somewhere. Like I said, I've literally been to Mexico, and I've seen they will chop off your face. They don't care. These people don't give a damn.
But you're an American.
I'm an American, and it affords you a small degree of safety, perhaps.
And they've got a good business.
So it's like, let's just let them go.
So in that moment when you got into the field, did you reckon with? Did you have any, the cliches about you see your life flash before your eyes, you see your childhood? Did you have any deep thoughts in that moment, or was it?
I don't, not honestly. That's a good question, and not that I recall. It was more so. Honestly, I was just hoping that they wouldn't kill my brother. That was the main thing. Like if that to me was the worst possible outcome.
Okay, well, and when you thought about kill me, not my brother, there was no part of you that thought about your own welfare and you dying?
No, because I had at no point in this did I ever resign myself to some sort of ultimate fate. It was always still strategizing to the end, like get your hands loose, or maybe we could do something about this. It was never. I don't think that I would have resigned myself until I was put on my knees with a gun pointed at my head.
Did you have fear overtake you, like just real palpable fear?
That was definitely spooky.
spooky is.
I mean, it was definitely scary.
Halloween costume.
I mean, no, it was definitely scary, but like at no point did I like break down and like, yeah, no. I mean, I kept myself together the whole time for sure. There's no choice.
Right.
You know, there's absolutely no choice. And in a certain sense, you almost can't show too much fear and break down and start begging, or you show weakness and that can only hurt you, I think. And I'm not acting like I'm Rambo, by the way. This is just a matter of fact.
How you felt.
This is just what it is.
How you felt. I mean, it's almost like a pilot. The plane's going down. You still got to fly the plane.
Still got to fly the plane.
Yeah. Understood.
Yeah. That was the situation, man. And we got out of it. Thank God.
Thank God. Well, thank you very much, Anthony, for joining us on the podcast. My Price is My Life.
Appreciate you.
And I appreciate what you do. And this will go out public in a few days. The 3-hour conversation we've had. And good luck. And
thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
Thanks.
What is your price? Because if your price is not your life, then you are for sale.